You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
All right, everybody, what's happening? Welcome to I couldn't be more excited version of the Thursday thick of it. I am GreenBean, and we are going to have a fantastic time tonight. Guys, so much to discuss. In a weird way, this just might be one of the best evenings that Jets fans have had ever. What do you think of that? We might be having the best Jets fan evening of all time. Now, that might be because we haven't won a Super Bowl. Okay, all right. It's all relative. Fair. That being said, doesn't matter. This still might be the best night in New York Jets history. Well, let's say since Super Bowl III. I could not be more excited to share that with you. We have the awards ceremony. We got potential defensive and offensive rookies of the year. We have now received a report that the great Joe Klecko received the confirmation call that he has, in fact, been chosen to be this year's senior inductee into the mother effing Pro Football Hall of Fame. We've been yelling for decades about this one. He looks like he's going to get in. It's not official yet, but that's the word coming out. I saw it in 3 separate places. 3 separate reports have said it. We have so much to discuss, and let's not forget Darrelle Revis and his potential to be an a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll call him that. That's what's going on there. So exciting. Guys, before I bring on our co-host, I want to just remind you of a couple small little things. One is, if you would be so kind, we would appreciate it if you would hit the like button while you're here. If you want us to chat with you, you could always put your comments in the chat. We're going to do our best. Jeremy does a good job. Gunny and Watch UK, we do a good job of trying to pull the best comments. But if you want to skip the line, the best way to do that is a super chat, and it helps the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for already? Come on, let's go. Help me out. Let's go. It's the only way the channel can grow, and it is appreciated, and I know you want to do it. I know. You just talk to me. What is the resistance? We'll get past this together. Go ahead and hit that sub button, and we will be thankful. So, guys, with no more words being said, no more baloney, let's bring on our super awesome, excited co-host. Let's say hello to Gunny Gumby himself from New York Jets Situation Report. What's happening, Gunny? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, GreenBean. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. You said it best. This might be a very exciting night for Jets fans everywhere. I've been following all day some of the tidbits being dropped. Saw you dropped the video in regards to the phone call. That's great. I'm just pumped to go ahead and hear about Darrelle Revis, Garrett Wilson, and, of course, our boy Sauce Gardner. So it's going to be an exciting night tonight for Jets fans everywhere.
Dude, look, and I have to admit, Gunny, and you can share and tell me if you feel the same way. While I was saying that shit, I'm thinking to myself, you should not be talking like this. It has not happened yet. There's a guy in here saying, shut your fat face. Yep. What are you doing? I can't help it. I'm so wound. Can you relate to that? Like, I'm so cynical.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. It's one of those things where I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little bit stitious, and I'm telling myself it's already happening. But at the same token, I'm like, calm down, don't jinx it, don't ruin this for you guys. Just watch the freaking awards, and then when it happens, it happens. Don't add to it. So I'm trying to not jinx it as well. So I definitely feel you on that, Green.
Yeah, so good. At least I'm not alone. I'm sure some of you guys in the chat feel the same way. I do want to remind you that in the background tonight, we have none other than Jets Chaos, Jeremy himself. He does a good job helping us produce the show, making sure that a lot of things don't slip through the cracks. He does a good job. If you can, make sure you send him some love, that bald bastard. And he's not here yet, but he comes in and he does a great job with stats and all sorts of background stuff. Watch UK, New York Sports, Wicker Media. I want to thank those guys as well. They're here with us throughout the show, and it wouldn't be the same without them. I want to say hello to some guys in the chat here, Gunny. Ant Jets got us started with his traditional now little Ant-Man thing. Hank is here. I know, look, we're going to talk about Derek Carr tonight. We'll talk about the Saints. We'll talk about the Dark Retreat. We'll talk about Garrett Wilson's comments about A-Rod, some Sauce Gardner stuff. We have so much. We might have a 5-hour show, Gunny. I know that's bad news, especially because I promised my wife. I said, tonight, I'm telling you, I'm gonna cut it. I'm going to cut. She's like,
right.
I'm trying. I try, man. I really do. Hepburn is here. What's up, John? Good to see you. Sergeant Cavo is here. He's here, our buddy from the UK, from Stoke-on-Trent, Phil Adams. Again, I like to remind you guys, he is the designer and producer of that flag right there. Only 5 in existence, and I have one. So there it is. Thank you again for that, Phil. I couldn't love you more, buddy. There's Harry. He got to spend, 2.5 hours with you last night, Harry? That was good. Cy Thompson's here. Larry's here. What's up, man? Good to see all you guys. New York Jets fan 4. I'll tell you guys again, look, with Frank, everything's good with Frankie. Just so you know, it's not like there's any rift or a health issue or anything. He had a work schedule change, and, just everything's flipped for him. So that's where it is. I don't know if he's going to continue in the future. I don't know. But I was assured that it's nothing. It's just, hey, man, this work schedule's got me. You know what I mean? So everything's different. I got to settle in. So that's all it is with Frankie. I'll share with him that you guys are all asking. So, because I know it's all with positive. And I love Frankie too, man. So anyway, that's where that is. Gangrene 44 is here. That's right, man. Jason Edwards is here. 1 down, 3 to go for our Jets. That's right. That's right. Hank. Oh, I said Hank Jets Forever is here. There it is. That's right. Let's start. This is the real offseason, man. I mean, think about all the stuff we've been talking about, Gunny. It's already almost tired. It's already almost tired. And it's not even the offseason, dude. It's not even the offseason. So tonight's a big night for that. Like, obviously we have the Super Bowl this week. We had the Pro Bowl games last week. In a few minutes, I want to ask your opinion on the Pro Bowl games as well. This is kind of the first time that they looked like they did this year. So, I think it's been a bad thing the last few years. So I don't know. I'm real curious to see what you thought of the Pro Bowl games. T. Willie's here. Busted Knuckles is here. Schwert is here. New York's Jets super fan is here. My buddy Hawk is here. And so many others. Sneakers to Boots, Busted Knuckles, Snowball. I see all you guys. Phenom's in the house. That's right. Now, look, Phenom, right. I got to be careful. I put out a video and everything. Look, if it was one little guy that said it, I wouldn't say anything. I saw it in 3 places within like a 2-minute period. I'm like, this is looking real. Okay. So I don't want to get crazy, but the truth is it should be like it doesn't make sense for it not to be him. It's supposed to be him.
Facts.
Right, man. And this is the second year in a row that he made it to the top. Well, this year it's the top 3, but last year it was the top 2. So he was the top 2 last year, senior candidates. And now guys are why would they top him this year? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. No. It's not like new guys came in.
You're 100% right. It will be shocking. It will be very, very shocking if he was not announced tonight. It really would.
Yeah. So, all right. So, let's start with that. I see Gitmo Bob and Trainer Tone are here. What's up, guys? Good to see all you guys. Return of the Jets, Rusty Spooner. Return of the Jets. Is that what I said? Return of the Jet die. It's hard to say, Rusty. I want you to know that. It's hard to say, at least for me. I try. But so, look, let's talk about this. So tonight, man, we have the award ceremony. If you guys aren't aware of that, it's on. It's on right now. I have my sound off. So hopefully you guys in the chat, or if Gunny or Jeremy or whoever, if something happens, let me know so we can comment on it. I have it on, but I can't hear it. So I don't know I just see people walking. They're walking on a red carpet, making faces, and I don't know what's happening. So, but what we're looking at tonight, guys, for the first time in a very, very long time, this could very well be a New York Jets night. Like, it never happens. So the last time we had a rookie of the year was Sheldon Richardson. Now, that's not ancient history or anything, but before him, it's been a very long time. I don't know if we've ever, I got to actually look that up. If Jeremy, if you don't mind, taking a look, how many rookie of the year guys have we had? But having one in the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, now to almost have two, Gunny, this is serious. So when people talk about, they're concerned for the GM or the organization, is this not a kind of a sign of positivity for you? How does it land on you? Is it just like, hey, a broken clock can be right twice a day? You know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing? Or do you look at this as the turning of the tide? Like there's a lot happening here. How does this land on you?
I personally will tell you right now, I am definitely on team keep JD and keep Coach Saleh. I struggle to go ahead and understand or fathom how everyone's calling for these guys' heads when we're talking about, yes, we have not made the playoffs. However, you've seen an upward trend in wins since Coach Saleh got here, right? We're talking about, I think a lot of people are putting the onus on JD missing out potentially on Zach Wilson, and that's apparently what's going to go ahead and have that man's head chopped off. But I'm excited to have a competent GM. I'm excited to have a coach that's a leader of men that players seem to want to rally around. And for me, I would hope that as this award night happens and we see things we haven't seen in quite some time as a fan base, where we're talking about the offensive rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, potentially the rookie of the year being on this roster this year, that just came from one draft. And for me, the funny thing is, if Breece Hall remained healthy, we wouldn't really be able to tell if it was going to be Sauce Gardner or Breece Hall for Rookie of the Year. Like that's the kind of talent we have on this roster right now, and that's a sentiment to JD and Coach Saleh, putting together that draft board, understanding the value at each pick, and making things happen. And I'm all on board on letting these guys run out their contracts. Let's see what happens. Let's see where they go. I would love to make the playoffs next season. I don't want to get that twisted. I want to make the playoffs next season.
Right.
But I think that we don't just fire these guys if we don't make the playoffs. Obviously, situation dictates. If they take steps backwards, then obviously action might need to be taken. But I do believe if we get the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year this evening, that at the very least, Joe Douglas has bought himself the next couple of years.
Yeah, now, really well said. And because there is a balance, right? There is, saying this tonight, like, all right, well, look, I don't see why Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh's head is on the chopping block. Right. It doesn't mean that things can't happen that can change our mind in the future. Like, let's say we come out next year and there's a complete implosion regression. The defense is bottom 10, bottom 5, and, we don't find a quarterback this offseason and we win 4 games. Okay, now we got something. But so far, when you look at it, granted, the collapse was misery. All right. There's no sugar for it.
Oh, God, it really was.
There's no sugar for it. But the truth is that there's an upward trajectory, steadily upward since they've gotten here. And that's what we have to look at. And I think, another interesting thing is I like to compare this. I might have done this last week. Forgive me if I do. But just for Jets fans, take a look at Zach Taylor's first 2 years. Look at what they did over there in Cincinnati. I mean, there were definitely calls that this guy sucks and he should be fired. The only reason he got hired is because of his proximity to Sean McVay. Like that was all that stuff was coming out. And they said, shut up. We're sticking with him. He's our coach. Like, relax. We're not firing him. They went to the Super Bowl the next year.
The very next year, correct.
And then now they're like looked at as this changed organization. They made it to the championship game, whatever it was this year. But they're not in the Super Bowl. But, come on. You look at the Bengals and you think, damn, strong team, good, championship caliber team. And you got to get past the negatives. So I think that tonight's hoopla, and you said it too with Breece Hall. We don't know. We might this might be between Jets right now. Kenneth Walker, with all due respect, we a lot of us liked him in the draft and he had a great season. And there's no shade for him, at least coming from me, right?
Not at all. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think if Breece Hall stayed healthy, nobody was talking about Kenneth Walker if Breece Hall stayed healthy.
100%.
And it could have very well been between Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. And wouldn't that have been cool? Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson
up on the year.
And then we got Darrelle Revis as a potential first ballot Hall of Famer this year. And if the rumors are true and Joe Klecko does get in, what a night. How can we not just kind of say, all right, all my fear and cynicism aside, we're looking, we've never seen anything like this. We've never
100%.
seen it, right, man?
And that's why I'm so excited. I'm beyond excited about tonight. I'm pumped about the show with you tonight and watching this thing come to fruition.
It's going to be exciting. So, all right, Watsu just got in the house now. I would have asked him this, but I asked it before he got here. I want to remind everybody, send some love to New York Sports Wicker Media. He helps us out a great deal on the show here. He just got here. But Jeremy from Jets Chaos went ahead and dug up some statistics for us. Since 1967, the Jets have had 0 offensive rookies of the year. So this would be our first. If Garrett Wilson does it, it would be, our first. We've had defensive rookies of the year a couple times, though. So we had Eric McMillan. A lot of us remember Eric McMillan. I don't know if you do, right? Yeah, you remember Eric McMillan, Gunny?
I do.
All right, man. I remember walking around high school with I had an Eric McMillan jersey, and he would get 2 interceptions or whatever and I was as proud as could be, man. I got Eric McMillan, baby.
That was my Darrelle Revis.
Yep. That's right.
That was my Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we loved that. Our generation, we loved Eric McMillan, man. He was a stud. Now he fell off a cliff rather fast. He only had that 4 years or so. Give or take. Play. Yeah, right. And then he kind of fell off. But boy, oh boy, was he good. So he won Rookie of the Year. Hugh Douglas won Rookie of the Year. And like I put up there, New York Jets superfans said Hugh Douglas. Hugh Douglas is an interesting one because let me point something out. We like to all the time chop the Jets' head off for one of the most embarrassing, if you will, draft blunders is when the Jets fans were in the stands. We want Sapp. We want Sapp. And the Jets took Kyle Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to the story. Now we just like to leave it there because we're into dumping on the Jets and our pain, but there's more to the story there, guys. The other side to that story is the Jets had 2 first-round picks that year. I think the second one was 23. So Kyle Brady was pick 8 or something, 10, something along those lines. And then we had the 23rd overall pick, I believe. We took Kotite, who was our GM, was looking at this okay, I know Sapp's great, but I have an opportunity to get Kyle Brady and Hugh Douglas, who I think is going to be an elite pass rusher. You know what I mean? So, and then he did, and then Hugh Douglas wins Rookie of the Year. So there was a minute there where Kotite looked like a freaking genius. You know what I mean? Now, Hugh Douglas, he was very, very good for us. I don't know if you remember what happened to Hugh Douglas. You remember, Gunny, what happened to him with the Jets?
Vaguely. Nah.
All right. So what happened to Hugh Douglas is this. This is fun. I haven't talked about Hugh Douglas in a long time. I'm doing all this off of memory, guys. All right.
Off the dome. Okay.
That's off the dome. So Hugh Douglas was an elite pass rusher, as we're talking about, won Rookie of the Year. Matter of fact, I had a Jeep, a Jeep Wrangler, Gunny. And they all have a tire on the back of the Jeep Wrangler, and they have a tire cover. I had 99 Douglas on my tire cover. Okay. So that was, he was a big deal. We loved Hugh Douglas. He had a fumble, touchdown. He was good. He was a very, very good player. When Parcells took over the team, it was Hugh Douglas's 3rd year. Hugh Douglas was on the sideline. He was having a decent year under Parcells. But Parcells caught him on the sideline in tears. He was frustrated and he was in tears. And but the Jets were winning the game. We remember that year we were 9-7, and Parcells literally walks up to him and says, "What's the matter? What's going on with you?" And he was upset about his own statistics. He was upset about it. And Parcells literally, man, Parcells just he said it publicly. That was it.
Yep.
That was it. Yep. He's not a team player. He traded him to the Eagles for a second, and I forget who we used the second on. I wish I could remember that off the top. But yeah, so he traded Hugh Douglas for a 2nd-round pick and said that he wasn't a team player. I don't want him. And he was very, very good for the for the Eagles
For the
as
Eagles,
well.
I remember Hugh Douglas was dominant for the Eagles for years.
Mm-hmm. And we had him. So that's the other thing with the Warren Sapp thing. Again, we don't talk about it often. And even guys like myself, I've chosen to leave it there. I don't, because it's like a lot of times I'll try to have this argument, Gunny, with people. Well, actually, they're not listening. Nobody wants to hear it.
No.
Nobody wants. Well, actually, the guy we fucking drafted was the rookie of the year. Nobody wants to hear it. So I left it alone years ago, man. But that's the truth of the story. So then, as New York Jets Superfan said, Jonathan Vilma did in fact win Rookie of the Year. And then the last one was Sheldon Richardson. I believe that was the 2014 draft or 2013. No. Yeah, 2013.
13, yeah. I mean, per chaos, he's got it all lined out since 1967. New York Jets, he says, have 0 offensive Rookie of the Years.
Yeah, that's who I'm looking at. Those are the notes.
Eric McMillan. Yep. Hugh Douglas, Jonathan Vilma, Sheldon Richardson. Man. And tonight we might get both. We might get both.
Yeah, amazing.
Defensive. That's
Think
insane.
about that. Think about that. So, all right, Y2K is coming in with some statistics. He's adding to the Jeremy stats about rookies of the year, right? So now we did that. We had Hugh Douglas, that one Rookie of the Year. 2 years later, Parcells says this guy sucks. I don't want him on my team. He's a crybaby. Sends him away. Takes that second and trades it to Pittsburgh for 3 additional picks in the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. So they became, this is where it gets funny. Okay. Now that's all well and good. Good moves. Okay. Good moving and shaking.
Right.
They become Dorian Boose, who we were high on, by the way, but never amounted to a hill of beans, man. Kevin Williams and Eric Bateman. So in other words, we got nothing for Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, we lost that trade. Yeah.
That's what happened. You know, look, man, you guys know I'll never take what Parcells gave us, right? That was some of the best football we ever watched and some of the best years. But the truth is Parcells set us back for decades. Like he made it very difficult to build on top of what he did. Now, even though Herm and everybody, they were able to keep the winning going, but he really Parcells was not a good GM in the slightest bit, man. So anyway, all right. So there you go. There's the history of the Jets and our rookies of the year, everybody. But yeah, it could be an exciting night. Now, Indy Jets, what's up, Jay? He comes in and says, I would rather have Klecko voted in the Hall of Fame tonight than anything. Good point. Gunny, if you had to pick one, if Goodell called you and said, all right, look, I can't possibly. The NFL, they'll fucking burn my house down. I can't possibly give this much love to the New York Jets. Pick one. Pick one. Which one are you grabbing?
Oh, man. I love Klecko, man. I gotta agree with Indy Jets. I think that he's one of those guys. If Darrelle Revis doesn't make it this year, he's a for sure in, you know what I'm saying, the second time around. It would suck to not see freaking the defensive and offensive rookie of the year be Jets, but then again, we would all know the deal. And it would be considered to be a complete flop of an award given to any other person. Klecko not making it would be just a damn shame. Klecko not making it would be a travesty in all actuality. So I have to agree. I think if I had to just pick one, Klecko has to get in tonight. It just has to happen tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's an interesting question because my heart says, Klecko, of course. I mean, we've been literally screaming for this for decades, man.
Yes.
Since like the mid 90s, Jets fans have been saying like, wait, what about our guy? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why is he not getting even considered? Like, and it's never stopped. And thankfully, we've had guys like Peter King, like Howie Long, and Gary Myers, Gary Myers and Peter King ended up on the senior committee, and they were vocal Klecko proponents. So I think if without them, this doesn't happen. But even them aside, we have been out here lobbying for years. So my heart says, of course, I want the Klecko thing to finally, get him in there, man.
Yes.
But then what does it mean for our current team? What does it mean for our current situation? I mean, one of those guys winning, Sauce. I think I might go with Garrett Wilson because we don't ever win offensive. That could be the change, the
trendsetter.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about 4 different quarterbacks who were garbage and this kid still won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Man, that in itself would speak volumes as to the quality of a player he is and the team around him.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. V-Man checking in. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for being patient while we went down memory lane there, buddy. He has a super chat. It says, if Sauce doesn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year, D-Rody, we call that, this will be the most disappointed I've been since I found out Roger Waters is a jerk. But now, look, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know if Roger Waters thing lands on you, Gunny. It lands.
It didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It lands here hard. Like, I think V-Man knows that. Like, that's Pink Floyd. That's a huge Pink Floyd. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. And what we found out in the 80s was that like Pink Floyd broke up, and Roger Waters, it was because Roger Waters, the main creative force behind it, was a complete dick, and everybody hated him, and that's very, very disappointing. But since then, V-Man, he's come around. He's changed. He's super grateful, super spiritual. Like, he's like really grateful. He goes out, he brings kids on stage. He's a totally different guy. So we're okay. But I'm with your actual point, which is if Sauce doesn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year, now he might win Rookie of the Year too, right? Yes. Those are two separate awards. So, but if he doesn't at least win Defensive Rookie of the Year, I would be disappointed as well. Now, Gunny, that's an interesting little thought here. Let's say Garrett Wilson wins offense and Sauce wins defense. Does it have to be one of those that wins?
Yes. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, the Rookie of the Year should be somebody that has, in all actuality, tonight I expect it to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner, Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner. I really do expect that to happen tonight. This is a kid who was the only rookie that made first team All-Pro. He's the first cornerback that has done what he's done in 41 plus years. He's literally done it against top tier elite wide receivers in the league. It wasn't going up against scrubs, number twos, number threes. Right. No, he's done it against Jamar Chase. He's done it against freaking Hill. He's done it against Stephon Diggs. He's done it against the elite talent at the position. If Sauce Gardner does not win Defensive Rookie of the Year tonight and Rookie of the Year tonight, it's going to be the NFL is going to get laughed at. It's just beyond. They're going to get laughed at because it doesn't make sense otherwise. So you mean to tell me your first team All Pro, first Pro Bowler hasn't done what he's done, hasn't been done in 4+ decades, wasn't the Defensive Rookie of the Year, nor was he the Rookie of the Year. The only other rookie I think even comes close is Aiden Hutchinson. He had a very impressive first year with the Detroit Lions, but he wasn't on a top 5 defense doing it. He wasn't one of the centerpieces of a top 5 defense doing it. So to me, that in itself shows the value of a Sauce Gardner. So I think Sauce Gardner gets both Defensive Rookie of the Year and Rookie of the Year, just purely based off of what he's done. It hasn't been done in a very, very long time. Right. Like, even the great Darrelle Revis didn't do this in his rookie season. No. And matter of fact, this is not to say it's on the same level, but it's in the same ballpark conversation.
As what Revis did. You know what I mean? Like, that's correct. The crazy thing about it. Now, we're hoping that Sauce can keep this going. But he looks like the kind of guy that will. I just hope he doesn't. Different. Yeah. I believe that. And I hope that. I have to say, I'll admit this. We're among friends. I'll admit this to everybody here. The sunglasses interviews that he's doing, like inside, are spooking me a little bit. And I'll tell you exactly why. You know what I mean? Because I don't want him to think he's too cool, too fast. Yeah, like he's above it all. Like he's above it all. I already got my, I got my sauce. I got my my bling, with the sauce. I got actual sauce in there. That's how people get lazy. That's how people get lazy and comfortable, and you don't want that. That's it. I'm telling you, I can't help it, guys. I was sharing about it on Tuesday night. Everybody's like, "Shut up, man! You're no, I'm with you." I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm with you, GreenBean. I'm a bit of a worry wart, but thank you. See, Gunny, I'm not alone. Everybody, Gunny's with me. I want to say that's a great name. I put a comment on the screen just purely because it's my first time seeing this name. Now, I'm an even bigger Kiss fan than I am Pink Floyd fan. And that's a great name, Jet Freely. So I want to thank you, welcome you, and thank you for commenting, man. That's not bad. That's not bad. So Matthias Simon, who's I count him among some of the people who will agree that we shouldn't jinx it, right? He believes in jinx. I know Matt. He's saying Klecko to the Hall of Fame. So did they announce it? Did they announce it yet, guys?
I don't see it.
All right. So if it gets announced, please make sure I know. Okay. So we cannot, I don't want a second to go by without us sucking on that teat. All right. I want it.
100%.
I want it, man.
100%.
So who that dude pointing out, and it's, it's interesting because I actually, I think maybe earlier in the season or right at the end of the offseason, I mentioned this, but this is a good comment. The last time that it happened, where the same team won offensive and defensive rookie of the year was the Saints in 2017 with
Marshawn Lattimore.
Cornerback Lattimore and the running back Alvin Kamara. If you look at like the rookie of the weeks that year, Kamara, I think he had like 7. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things. Like it's very reminiscent of what we did this year.
Saw this year. Yep.
Yeah, and I know people like to minimize that, and I get it. I do. It's a fan voted award and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things I like to say all the time is, well, we don't put the names up there though. Like they have to perform.
Correct.
And but the trend is the trend is that when you see these guys winning rookie of the year, they win rookie of the week a whole bunch. And that's a good sign. Jeremy is telling me, or Watsuke, is saying, hey man, like slow down. The awards don't start till 9. So, all right. Okay. All right. I'll take a breath.
Okay.
All right.
So we're good.
Like, what's happening? Because I'm looking at these ladies.
I'm doing the same thing.
I'm like, what are they talking about?
Who announced it? I don't see it here.
Yeah. Right. There's Barry Sanders. It's funny. I had an argument recently, maybe about a year ago now, but somebody was asking me who I thought the best player in NFL history was. And it's tough to say so, but for me, I thought it was Barry Sanders. I thought Barry Sanders did things that nobody else did with far less tools than all his peers had. Emmitt Smith had these dominating lines with great tight ends and good quarterback, and Barry had nothing. Like he was the only thing for teams to key on. But the other guy that we were arguing about was Lawrence Taylor. Right. So Lawrence Taylor versus Barry Sanders. And I had to admit, I'm like, he changed the game though, LT.
Yeah. Yeah. He was different. Like that dude was different, man. That dude was different. He was well before his time too. Like that fast, strong, just a freak of nature. That didn't make any kind of sense physically. I could see that LT conversation versus Barry Sanders being, I guess, you know what? Let's just go offensive. Best offensive player of all time. Best defensive.
There you go. Right. Like what you did there.
We'll just do that. We'll just split it.
I like what you did there. And then it's depending on the generation that you talk to, I've had guys say, man, you didn't watch Jim Brown or you didn't watch Gale Sayers, man. Like Gale Sayers was, and I've seen lots of film and Gale, again, these guys were unbelievable. Like Jack Lambert or what the hell is his name? Yeah. Like Lambert. Right. Yeah. There's another Jack Lambert coming out. I'm mixing them up. But anyway, the guys, Mean Joe Green and those types of guys. But I think it's hard, and every generation is going to have that guy that kind of, destroyed, dominated during their time. So the argument is very difficult. But for me, I just think, Barry, LT, then it's my generation, man. That's when I grew up thinking, wow, look at these guys. Why do we suck so bad? That's what I was doing. Why do we suck? The worst thing about LT. Now, Gunny, you've moved around and everything. So, did you live in New York, New Jersey area when you were younger?
When I was younger. So when I first moved to the States from Haiti, I lived in New York for about 2 years. Then I wind up moving to New Jersey with my mom and my sister. I grew up in New Jersey until I was a grown man. I didn't move out of Jersey until I was 19 years old before I moved to Florida. So yeah, I spent my whole childhood and young adult life in New Jersey / tri-state area.
All right. So you'll remember then when, even though the Jets had good teams, 82, 81, 82, 83, 86, the Giants during that time, those were the Parcellian Giants, right?
Yep.
That was, and LT ruled the roost. I mean, they had Carl Banks, they had Gary Reasons, they had Phil McConkey and Bavaro and Phil Simms and all these guys. Harry Carson and Meggett, all these guys, but LT was the king of the root. He was and the 56 jerseys were everywhere, man.
Yep.
Like
my grandfather had one.
Right,
my uncles
dude.
had them. Yep.
I remember being a little kid thinking, like, where's our guy? Like, where's our number? You know what I mean? Like, could it be 99? And we tried with 99, Freeman a little bit, 24. Hey, was that Namath arriving? Did I see Namath? I think I was
talking to you. I didn't see it.
I think I saw Namath. But anyway, so it was a tough era for Jets fans back then. And that's why, like, when people ask me, like, why do you root against the Giants? It's really born out of that, like when the Patriots and Giants were in the Super Bowl, I wanted to die. I mean, I can't believe it. Like, out of all the teams in the damn league, I got the Giants versus the Patriots. Like,
it was the worst Super Bowl I think I've ever watched as a football fan, because I had no way of I didn't want you rooted for either one. You were losing. It was a loss no matter who won that game. Yeah,
because like new Jets fans, they don't really have the same kind of passionate dislike for the Giants. Because Giants fans were mean to us back then, man. Too. They made it known that we were the little brother. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Until you play in our stadium, get your own stadium, all that kind of stuff, man. Oh, dude. So
anyway, my best friend's huge Giants fan growing up, and I'm telling you, I could beat him in everything else. I could beat him in basketball, video games. Didn't matter. Me and Sherrod used to go back and forth, but he always had me when it came to our teams. Giants fan versus Jets fan, I would just have to sit there and just take it, because we were not on the level of the Giants. So for me, it got personal real fast growing up as a young Jets fan.
Yeah, it was tough, man. And they were brutal to us. And even though like in 1986, at one point we were 10-1, and then we ended up 10-7. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we do this. This is like newer Jets fans. Like, they look at this as the worst thing that's ever happened. And it's bad. It's bad.
But it's been happening for a while.
But it's been happening. Now, the only saving grace in 86 was that, they ended up benching Kenny O'Brien and putting in our longtime backup, Pat Ryan, and he got us into the playoffs. So and then we won a game in the playoffs. And then the double overtime in Cleveland because Gastineau's late hit on Cosa. So it was a lot of pain there. So the only saving grace was that we still made it. But even if we did, guys, if we made it to the bowl that year, the Giants were going to lose a fucking boot in our ass. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. We had a good squad, but the Giants were they were monsters, man. Like, nobody could do anything.
Talk of the town. Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's been tough. So this would be real nice for the young Jets. I mean, for us too, but just for all you young bucks, man.
Yes.
You can walk around with that one jersey or that 17 proudly, man. Like, that's right. This is we got the young core. We're coming out of the dark, man. I know they made the playoffs and it's fine, but you can see it. You can see it. Now, coming out of this, Gunny, we'll wait for the awards and watch UK confirmed Joe Namath has in fact arrived to the building, everybody. Garrett Wilson had some comments this week, Gunny. Now, he was, they're all making the rounds. They're at the Pro Bowl. They're asking Sauce Gardner all these questions, and they're asking Garrett Wilson. They asked Garrett Wilson, how would you feel if Aaron Rodgers came to the New York Jets? And while you don't want to make too much out of anything and all that, I'm actually gonna share the clip right here, and I want to get your thoughts on it. And I'll bounce it to you guys in the chat as well. So he said, this was his answer to the question, everybody. He said, I'd probably have tears of joy come down. That's one of the greatest of all time. And for him to even know my name or say he wanted to throw me the ball, I'd probably cry. That's the GOAT. Now, I made a short video on this saying that I see this as incredibly humble. Almost like it's innocent. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of positives there for me. We're hearing a comment like this, and some people said like, man, why is he kissing Aaron Rodgers' ass? And like, I don't see it like that. For me, I see it as a very positive for our young stud player to have feelings like this, to be humble, not like, well, hey man, if he wants to come and play with the best wide receiver in the world,
there is a football. Yeah. 100%.
Right. Right. And there's another comment that he made. I'll show that in a second, where he does talk about our young talent. But it's like very humble. Do you see it the same way, or do you think that this is like another Jet, like trying real hard to like kiss Aaron Rodgers' ass to get him over here? How did it land on you? How do you see this one?
I loved it. I loved it because if it was me, I'd say something like, if I had the ability and the talent to play in the NFL and I'm playing for a team, and you're telling me one of the quarterbacks that I watched growing up that was just ripping and dominating the league could come be my quarterback, I would react in the very same way. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, while the majority of us are older and whatnot, and we've been watching, Aaron Rodgers for years and whatnot, like, Garrett Wilson grew up watching this guy, thinking to myself, man, imagine if my quarterback was this good. Or maybe he thought about being a quarterback because of Aaron Rodgers. This is literally within his era of growing up watching this dude play. And the ability to have one of the legends, one of the GOATs, one of your mentors, one of your idols growing up throw you the ball in live game action, that's inspiring. Like, I don't understand what the hate is about him being pumped up about Aaron Rodgers, potentially a top 10, top 15 quarterback all time, coming to the Jets and throwing him the ball. It's just comical to me how many people just have a hard time seeing somebody show true emotion and humility about, yo, this is one of the greatest of all. And like you said, if he had said, like, hey, he'd be lucky to come to the Jets and throw to me because I'm GW, that to me would be a red flag. I'd be like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
There's confidence and there's arrogance. There's a very thin line, but that teeters on the side of arrogance. So for me, I loved it. I thought it showed just how much of a student of the game that he is and how much he respects the game to be able to go ahead and put that out there, emotionally, and say, yes, it will be exciting to me if I could play with freaking the Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I'm 100% agree with you. I feel the same way. Now I'll put up the other comment. And while it has a different tone to it, it's also a different question. And this to me also doesn't sound like cockiness or anything negative. I see it as like, it's finally, we have a young team that looks around and says, like, dude, we're not those Jets that you guys think here.
Nope.
We are straight up better. Like, when you talk about why he should choose the Jets over the Raiders, how about this? Because we're better than the Raiders. And I thought this was a great comment too. He said, I tell him about, no, again, this was Garrett Wilson being asked, well, why should Aaron Rodgers choose the Jets over the Raiders? What would you say to him that, could sway him? And he said, I'd tell him about the influx of young talent. Now, what are we talking about? Tonight we got two of them on the podium or on the docket, let's say, of winning, Rookie of the Year, man. So that's a good sign. And he says, we have a better team than the Raiders. There it is. Go look at the rosters and how we played last year and look at the analytics. You'll see that we had every piece except quarterback. So you come in and we're going to have a chance to do something special. Now, again, different tone, right? But how do you hear this one?
Confidence. He's, again, that line between confidence and arrogance is so thin, and he walked it perfectly. In all actuality, I've been saying this too on social media. People are saying, oh, he's going to the Raiders. And I said, if he chooses the Raiders, it's not because it's about winning for him. It's because it puts him closer to being home. He's a West Coast kid. He'll be closer to freaking California if he goes to freaking Vegas. And that's the only reason where I could see that Aaron Rodgers would choose those guys against us. It's a bottom 5 defense. Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs are your only weapons. Darren Waller can't stay healthy to save his life. Whereas you come here, you see a guy like Garrett Wilson, who legitimately put up incredible numbers with literally the worst QB performances in the NFL. Combined, collectively, all 4 quarterbacks he played for ranks 32 in the NFL in terms of efficiency and overall play. So you're talking about a kid who still caught went for 1,100 yards, 4 TDs. Imagine a competent quarterback throwing the ball to a guy like Garrett Wilson. Competent. Aaron Rodgers,
not even great.
Not great.
Yeah.
Competent. And I think if Aaron Rodgers is honest with himself, this is it, man. You got 2-3 years left, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Again, with him, you never know because he's all over the place. But 2 to 3 years. If you're an athlete, if you're a competitor, in my opinion, you're only doing this now for one thing. You want rings. He's gotten paid already. He's got the money. He's got the accolades, the personal accolades. Now you've got one Super Bowl to your name. I think it's time for you to tie yourself to one of those quarterbacks that has multiple. And if that's the case, the Jets make the most sense. The Raiders are not good. Josh McDaniels, I think, is a horrible head coach. He showed it in Denver. They went from being an 8-8 team last year to a freaking 6-11 team this year. They went backwards with the same exact squad. So I don't know how you can look at that team and think you're going in a positive direction. So I'm with him 1,000%. I don't think Garrett Wilson said anything disrespectful here. He spoke facts, and he, again, teetered that line of confidence and arrogance. And I'm going to say this shows the level of confidence this young roster has, because they don't know they're supposed to be the same old Jets.
That's right.
These guys think they can win it all.
I love that too. They don't know they're supposed to suck. They actually believe that they're gonna, hey, I want to have a great career. Imagine that.
Yep.
It's a great thing to see. I agree with you. I think you knocked it out of the park there. And there is a line. There's a difference between confidence and cocky and like you said, arrogance. There is a difference. While to the naked eye it might look the same in some instances, they're very, very different. And that's why the sunglasses thing freaks me out a little bit. Again, I'm not going to make it bigger than it is, but I'm freaked. If he wears sunglasses tonight, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be nervous. If he's walking out with like two models and sunglasses, I'm going to be freaked out. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be freaked out. So, real quick, I'm going to get to Tony's super chat in a second. I want to just say, I see you, Ato Huntley, but I want to make sure that I'm clear. In no way, shape, or form do I compare my hatred for the Giants to my hatred for the Patriots. It's different. But I would generally root against the Giants as well. Like, out of all the teams in the NFL to have to root for in the Super Bowl, I hated that it was the Giants because I have to, because I cannot possibly. There's no team in the NFL in the Super Bowl anyway.
Patriots.
Yeah, we just can't do it. So anyway, just so we're clear, I'm with you. He said he hates the Patriots so much he almost wore a Giants jersey.
It was just the worst situation of all the teams in the NFL. Those are the two teams I despise the most, and to have to root for the Giants, even though that was my direction, it still did not feel right. It did not feel right at all.
Yeah, it was tough. And to like passionately cheer when Tyree had that magic catch on his forearm and helmet and all. It's like, oh yeah, like freaking out like it's the Jets. It just felt wrong in my soul. I didn't know what to do with myself. It was just weird, man. So Tony Alexio checking in. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, why was RLT, Mark Gastineau, banned from the Hall of Fame? Was it his sack dance or getting married to the movie star and making movies? Well, let me tell you, there's a few reasons, okay? And those are both in there. Not that he married a movie star. That's not the issue. It's that he quit mid-season to go, take care of the movie star when it wasn't as serious as they made it out to be. Like, she was fine a month later. That kind of, at least that's the way I remember it. Here's why Mark Gastineau is not even in the discussion for Hall of Fame. He should be. There are numerous guys with worse stats that were less impactful that are in the Hall of Fame. Mark Gastineau was the absolute best player in the NFL numerous years at the number one most important aspect of playing defense. He was that guy in an era where they didn't throw the ball as half as much as they do now. He had 22 or 22 and a half sacks, I think it was.
Freak.
Yeah, and nobody touched it until Strahan Strahan got close, but then the way he won it, the NFL didn't want him to have it. They didn't want Gastineau to have it anymore. But here's what it breaks down for two guys. There's a few reasons. Number one, the sack dance is big. The NFL hated him. It was the wrong era for that. The NFL was still kind of governed by the old 50s cigar smoking Howard Cosell's of the world, and they liked things the way that they liked them. This guy, he had long hair. He was kind of a showboat, and they hated him. As a matter of fact, the NFL really got together and banned one player doing this. Like, they banned it. So that shows how much they hated it. And they gave penalties. And if he did it, he would have got ejected, like all kinds of crazy stuff. He had to stop doing the thing that he does, right? So that's one piece. The other piece is that he did quit on his team mid-season. He just quit. He had a 7-sack season. He was having a really good year. He looked like he was going to have another great Gastineau year, and he just quit. That's another piece. But the main reason, guys, and I got to make sure this is understood. The main reason is because during the strike season, it was the NFL players chose to strike to get better, whatever, right? Pay and everything else, benefits. And this is before free agency. They didn't have free agency yet. So the NFL players decided they want a new contract and they are going to they're going to strike. The NFL, in response to that, basically said, we don't need you. We'll bring in the fans don't give a shit. They just want to root for their team. So they brought in what was called scab players, right? Guys from the street. And they, all these kids, all these guys that never made it, they came in and took, their opportunity to play in the NFL. And the scab games were, there was like 5% of the people were there. I think, I never went to one. I almost did. But I didn't go to one because my Aunt Gina and my father were like, no, we can't go, right? You can't support it. But Mark Gastineau was one of very few players that chose to cross the picket line and play while they were striking. So you had all these scab players, and Mark Gastineau played. So he was one. I don't even know if there were any more players there. He might have been the only one. I believe there was a few. Maybe Watch UK can find it out. Maybe how many players crossed the picket line in the, what was that, 1988, 1987, something like that, strike. I'll find that out if you could. That'd be awesome. But that's what happened. So number one, they didn't like him. He was, a punk and all that shit. Then, he left the team. But it was the big one was the crossing the picket line, and the players and all the guys running the league now, dude, they don't forget that. That's it. He was crossed off. He's blacklisted. You know what I mean? And the other thing is that he was rumored to be on a whole mess of steroids, dude. So there's that sort of stuff. So there's a lot. Like Mark Gastineau was my favorite player. Right, my favorite player. Like I said, I share all the time. Freeman McNeil was my favorite offensive player. But Mark Gastineau, even more than Klecko, guys, when I was a 10, 11-year-old kid, it was Mark Gastineau. That guy lit me on fire. So I want him to get in, and I still think he should, but those are the reasons why. And there's a lot there. There's a lot to it, and the NFL is just not going to consider it. Like, you would have to really make some noise for Mark Gastineau to be considered. Yep, there it is. Fourth and forever. Mark Gastineau crossed the picket line. There it is, right? That's the big one. Yep, Nick Russo saying the same thing. He played as a scab. Like, to me, that's the big, like, again, all the other things aren't good, and they would make it difficult, but that's the one. Once he did that, the rest of the NFL said, nope. He's on the side of the empire, man. He's working for the emperor, Darth Vader. You can't do that. So he learned his lesson. And his excuse at the time was that Joe Walton, the Jets coach, and Leon Hess have always been nice to me. That's what he said. They've always been nice to me. So I don't want to go again. It seems kind of simple, but anyway, he should have just stayed in line with his teammates, and all would have been well. So all right. So right, it's Snoopy says, if Garrett doesn't win, we riot. Now let me just see real quick. Oh, so Watch UK says it was over 100 players league wide. So that's a little bit more than I thought. D'Amico Ryans named assistant coach of the year. Okay, interesting. Okay, wow. D'Amico Ryans, what do you think of that? Any thoughts on that one?
No, I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shocks me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too, because he's being looked at as a head coaching candidate, but he's the guy who replaced our boy, right? Isn't that him?
No.
Yeah.
Isn't D'Amico Ryans the one that just got the job with the Texans?
Oh yes, he's now the head coach. Right. I don't remember that he was being hired. But
yeah.
But no, but
so
he replaced Saleh as a defensive coordinator.
Facts. Correct. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So what is that? What does that make you think though? It's like, okay, so Saleh's over there, he gets great defense, and he comes, and then the guy who replaces him is so good that he gets a head coaching job as well. Does that mean Saleh's worse? I mean, is it just the players over there are great? What does it mean, Johnny?
If anything, quite the contrary. I think Saleh did a great job in prepping him to go ahead and fill his shoes. allowed him to go ahead and operate that defense not only effectively and efficiently, but it got him a head coaching job. I get it. It's going to fall under the Shanahan coaching tree, but hey, that guy was under the umbrella of Coach Saleh, and he did an incredible thing. So I think it looks good for Coach Saleh that his counterpart, the guy that worked with him and underneath him, has come forward now, made sure that defense stayed elite, and got himself a head coaching job.
I like that take. That's a good take, everybody. Robert Saleh was so good that he left a landscape where DeMeco Ryans just, man, you fell right in it. And then you should be calling Saleh and thanking him for making your job so easy. It's a good point. I like that. So, all right, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I do want to make sure that we talk about, we had some big news Tuesday night. Now, look, it's almost a tired conversation at this point with, these quarterbacks that the Jets could get. But the truth is nothing can happen yet. So it's kind of crazy, right? We're already tired. I get that all the time. Oh my God, you're still talking about Carr and Rodgers. Well, how can we not? You know what I mean? Nothing happened. So you got to talk about it. But there's a few interesting kind of takes that came out, Gunny. And one is that the Raiders have allowed Derek Carr to meet with and discuss a potential trade with the New Orleans Saints. And the rumor that came out was that they've already agreed on acceptable compensation. So if Carr's in because he has a no trade clause, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So what do you think about that? Like, my first thought was, why not us? Why aren't we why aren't we at least on the list? Right. That's my first thought. But there's a few reasons why that might not be. But what do you think about that? There's pieces moving, and it's not the Jets. How do you feel?
Honestly, it shouldn't be a surprise to any of us. I don't think Oakland's trying to make any other team in the AFC stronger. Very much like the Green Bay Packers are saying, if they move on Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be to the AFC. So obviously, there must be a package in play that the Raiders like. So which is why they gave Carr permission to talk to this team, because they haven't allowed him to talk to any of the team, prior to this. I wouldn't hold it with any much weight. The Saints right now don't have the financial ability really to do anything. $60 million in the hole right now when it comes to the cap. You're talking about Michael Thomas as wide receiver one. We haven't seen him play in damn near 2 years. Alvin Kamara, you're starting to see the tread run off a little bit in terms of him being overused over the last couple of years. Yeah. The defense, they were once great. They were mid this year as well. Like, what really is appealing to Derek Carr to go over there other than, hey, New Orleans has incredible gumbo, right? Like, the team in itself isn't enticing. Yeah. Right, they're in cap hell right now. If they give up assets to bring him on, that puts them further behind because this isn't a win now roster. So for me, I think that's just, hey, they offered the opportunity for the Raiders to get maybe a first or a second or whatever it is that they threw out there, and they said, hey, go talk to them. Maybe you like what you hear. But I don't believe in any shape or form that the Saints are really on the board as a potential contender with us to get Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is either going to be released here in the next 6 days, or he's going to be making a decision to go to a team where he feels he has the best chance of winning. Now, I don't understand. The biggest thing for me is these are guys that are in the back end of their careers. Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, these are guys in the back end of their careers. And I don't know about you, but if I'm Derek Carr, last thing I want to be known as the quarterback who never won a playoff game. I would hate that. And he already has tried doing that with the Oakland Raiders with no help on the defensive side. And it was just him trying to go ahead and carry a mid-roster to the playoffs. So I'm not worried about it. I know a lot of people are freaking out about it because he went for his second interview today. But in all actuality, the Saints just don't have the means or the capability to entice somebody like Derek Carr to waive his trade clause to come play for them. Unless he really loves some gumbo. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. I know it's kind of interesting now because you make some good points. It's like, if look, now he's got a little bit longer left, right? He's 31, I believe. And so he's got maybe, look, these guys are playing deep into their 40s now. And so let's say he's got 7 to 10 years left. So he's got some time. He doesn't have that same urgency like Aaron Rodgers. Like, look, if it's rebuild, I'm not being a part of it. I'm not doing that. I have so Carr could be a little bit more inclined to buy into that, like looking at the forward plan and going, okay, well, I love that. I like this. If we accomplish that, I'm in. Those kinds of things. But I'm really interested in I wonder if he's even interested in talking to the New York Jets. Like, look, a lot of fans talk about the cold weather thing, right? That could be real. He could go, yeah, I suck in cold weather. I don't know. I don't want to play there. He could also, our rep, the New York media, the New York fans, he could say, why would I subject myself to that? It's a very real possibility. Like, a lot of fans are looking at Joe Douglas. If he can't get him or Rodgers, it's a whiff. He sucks. And that may be the case, but he can't do anything if the guy's like, no, they're off the table. I'm not going to the Jets. What do you think the likelihood of that happening is?
So I hear this a lot, right? In regards to like, oh man, he's not going to pick the Jets because it's too cold, right? I don't think people understand the level of narcissism it takes to play in the NFL. In order for you to get to that point, there is a part of you that believes it doesn't matter who you're going up against, that you are the best thing since sliced bread. The majority of them have been coached to go ahead and talk to us and show humility and be patient and kind. But you don't get to that level without believing you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. These are alpha males across the board, alpha males. So for you, if I'm Derek Carr and I'm hearing, hey, people are saying you too much of a bitch to go to New York and play in the cold because you can't handle the cold, it entices me to be like, you know what, I'll do 2 years in New York just to prove that I can play in the cold. Because you're right, he is going to be 32 this year. He can go ahead and do a 2-year contract with New York, prove his point, and then go on to another one. But in the same token, he'd be doing it with a team that's it's built to win right now, with a defense that can actually go ahead and counter him. This is the guy who literally lost 7 games this past season with double-digit leads because his defense was non-existent this past season. Yeah. I think if Derek Carr can go ahead and come here and give the Jets a 1-possession lead, and even if we fall from a top 5 defense to a top 8 defense, I don't think a lot of teams are scoring a lot of points on us. I just don't. I don't see it happening. I don't see that shifting from this year to next year. I mean, again, knock on wood, health being a big factor in that. But Derek Carr as a quarterback in the National Football League is not scared of the cold. He's not scared of the Jets fan base hurting his feelings because he believes, as an NFL quarterback should, he's the best thing since sliced bread. He can go ahead and come in here and change anything around. He might be 100% wrong. He might come through here and be a scrub. But you're not going to tell a NFL caliber quarterback that you are not good enough or it's too cold for you to come play football in New York. And I think for me, whenever I hear that, I just think people are reaching. I think that when you can't put yourself in the shoes or the mindset of an ultra competitive uber athlete, this is an individual who's been playing football since he was 5-6 years old at a high level to where he is now getting paid millions of dollars to do it. They don't think like us. They do not think like us.
Right.
That's a good point. If they thought like us, they wouldn't be NFL caliber quarterbacks. They just wouldn't be. So whenever I hear that, I think that's just us trying to go ahead and cause a stir more so than it is a reality. I think Carr, if anything, would look at that as a challenge. Like, I'm going to prove to him I can play in the cold. And like you said, he's 31. If he decided, like, I'll just do it for 2 years just to go ahead and get a feel for it, he can make a decision to go somewhere else. But I do believe wherever he goes, he's not looking to be the person held liable for the team sucking. And if he goes to the Saints, they're going to suck because they're going to have to cut a bunch of people to get under the cap. They're not going to have any draft picks to bring to the table. It's going to be him and Alvin Kamara. That's it on the offensive side. They're going to suck. And I don't think he wants to deal with a similar situation as he's just dealt with in Oakland, where he did his part, but the team still lost games, and he's the one being used as the freaking scapegoat. So at one point or another, you look at yourself as a winner, and he wants to be a winner. I don't really believe the Saints are in the conversation, not for Derek Carr. I don't think he's going to waive his trade clause for the Saints. It makes zero sense to do so.
Yeah, it's a good point because like the truth is he doesn't have to do anything, right? He's just either pay me or don't. Cut
Or
me.
release
It
me.
doesn't
Yep.
matter. I'm not going anywhere. And the Raiders are trying to do. I mean, look, if they can get it for a sixth, if they can get an extra fifth or sixth, they'll take it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I mean, you want to believe that they can, or at least from their end, they would want to believe they can get something for a franchise quarterback. But let me say this. This will lean into why I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants anything to do with the friggin' Raiders. Look at how badly they managed this Derek Carr situation.
100%.
And it's dude, they completely blew it. They could have sat down with him, had real, man-to-man talks and
Conversations.
and made it into a scenario where they could, get a trade for him and hey man, we'll try to take care of you. And they could have done that. He could have respected them, they could have respected him.
Yep.
Instead, they pissed him off. He's out there bashing them. And he's saying, screw you, I'm not doing anything. They asked him for an extension. Can we extend the window? Fuck you.
Nope,
it's like, why
fuck you.
Right. Why would I do that? So you look at this Josh McDaniels thing. And again, guys, like there's a lot of Jets fans that are really sincerely spooked by the idea that Rodgers is going to choose the Raiders. Now, I get the Devontae Adams piece. I get it. They were very successful together, and all reports are they're actually friends, and that's fine. But when you look at Josh McDaniels' track record, dude, he went to Denver. You had dude, Jay Cutler was just finishing his third year. He was a young stud quarterback. He had 4,500 yards the year before, a whole mess of touchdowns, like 2-to-1 touchdowns to picks. He was one of the young up and coming stud quarterbacks in the NFL. The first thing he did was piss him off and try to trade him to bring in Matt Castle. The trade fell through. He had already ruined his relationship with Jay Cutler. So then he had to trade him, and they traded him for friggin' Kyle Orton. And then they drafted fucking Tim Tebow. First pick. Dude, you look at this stuff.
Oh, man.
You look at this. And then after that, so he's fired from there, goes back with his tail between his legs to the Belichick Brady bubble, right? He does that. Now Tom Brady's going to make anybody look like a genius, right? Let's just be clear. I hate him. I can say it a million different ways, but he's good. All right. So he's fucking guy's good. So he makes Josh McDaniels look good. Then Josh McDaniels, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years later, gets another head coaching opportunity. He accepts it with the Colts and then decides a week later.
Backpedals.
He says, no, I don't want it anymore. So the Colts lost out on other candidates because he said yes. They ended up hiring Frank Reich, who was not, from what I read at the time, was like he was in their top 5, but he wasn't one of their top 2 or 3 guys, Frank Reich, to hire as head coach. So he screws over Denver. He screws over Indianapolis, and he goes back to the Patriots again. Tom Brady makes him look good. He goes to the Raiders, and the first thing he does is he pisses off the quarterback to such a degree that they can't even get a fucking 5th round pick for a 4,000-yard franchise quarterback. And you think Aaron Rodgers is going to choose to go over there? They got no offensive line. They drafted Alex Leatherwood in the first 2 years ago. They cut him the next year. Henry Ruggs was their other 1st round pick. He's in jail. Like, dude, like it's a complete shit show over there. The only thing that they have is it's California. Well, it's not even, but it's Vegas. No, so it's kind of
Vegas.
It's over on the west. It's only 3 hours from LA.
Cali. Yep.
Right. So and then they have Devontae Adams. Other than that,
that's it.
Garbage over there.
That's it.
Why would he choose that?
And I don't understand why people are so afraid of it. I'm with you, GreenBean. I just don't get the logic of, oh my God, he's going to Oakland. Why? What have you seen in Oakland in the last decade that shows you that they're a better organization than the Jets? They're just as dysfunctional, if not more dysfunctional, without the talent than the New York Jets. Josh McDaniels is a joke. I'm shocked that people didn't realize that with the same exact roster, they actually got worse this season. And this is despite the fact that Carr still was the 12th best quarterback in the NFL. They only won 6 games.
Yeah, think about that.
He's horrible as a coach. I don't understand how we're freaking out about. I mean, now I believe that Zach, if Aaron Rodgers isn't a Jet, he's a Packer. I really believe if he's not a Jet, he's going to remain in Green Bay. And that's what I believe. Raiders to me don't scare me as a team that's going to go ahead and swipe him from us. I will say maybe Tampa might scare me a little bit, but they've already said they refuse to trade him in the NFC. That might be the only reason why I think we're good there. Tampa, in all actuality, is probably the only team that right now I look at and I'm like, damn, okay, Carr could probably go there. Okay.
Oh yeah. Dolphins.
Rodgers could probably go. Dolphins. I mean, the thing with the Dolphins, though, they've already kind of come out and stated that they're sticking with Tua, and they don't have a first round draft pick to go ahead and be more competitive than us if we needed to go that route. And their salary cap situation is about to get real tight as well come next year. They got a lot of cuts to make just to go ahead and sign and retain their current free agents. So that's why when I look at across the board, Tampa right now, I'm like, man, they're the ones that I'm worried about the most in terms of a Rodgers or a Carr choosing them over us. And if Rodgers, again, I think Rodgers is either a Jet or he's staying in Green Bay. That's what I believe. I don't think there's no in between.
Yeah, I did such great points, man. Now, I just wanted to say something. What the hell was it on that? Damn it, I lost my train of thought, Gunny.
Sorry, I talk too much.
No. You were saying shit. That's the thing. You say a lot of good things. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to respond to that. I lost my train of thought, but it's the truth about the Raiders. Like, I get that we're like, look, Jets fans, we're tattered, man. We're beaten and battered, and we're traumatized. And no matter what happens, we feel like the axe is going to fall, and everybody's a better landing spot than us. And I get it. And I think, look, it's because a lot of that's happened in our lives. But when you look at these teams specifically, there's not a lot that they have over us. Garrett Wilson's comments are slam dunk home runs, man. Oh, this is what it was. So when you're talking about Tampa, here's the other thing with Tampa. Let's not forget that maybe 2 years ago they were really attractive and they have talent up and down the roster. But Todd Bowles, dude, Bowles is a bum. Dude, he came in, he was gift wrapped, Gunny. Bruce Arians went on he stood up there in front of the world and said, I'm giving this team to Todd Bowles because he shouldn't have to go to a team that's terrible and rebuild from square one. I want the world to see what he can do with real talent and the whole thing. In 1 year, he took a Super Bowl caliber team with arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, talent up the wazoo. They limped into the playoffs, one and done, and he fired the entire offensive staff. This will now be Todd Bowles' 6th year coaching in the NFL and his 5th offensive coordinator. You're going to tell me Byron Leftwich was the problem?
No.
You know what I mean?
Bowles is trash. Bowles is the head coach.
So that could be a thing. Like when somebody's looking, like, dude, guys, as much as we look at our coaching staff and we wonder, right? Like, I like a lot of things about Saleh, but there's a lot that I'm nervous about with Saleh. Like, he hasn't sold me yet, Gunny. I'm not like that. I'm not waving the Saleh flag. But the truth is that he's got a stellar reputation as far as relationships are concerned.
Yep.
People love playing for him. Look at our team, dude. Like the way that they play till the last second, like it's like the effort that we're seeing is like we haven't seen since, I don't know, 2010, maybe. You know what I mean? Right? Like, so Saleh's
I've been on record.
Great rep.
I'm with you. I've been on record saying that with Coach Saleh, like the X's and O's components, I couldn't tell you if I know for a fact that he's figured that part out. That's my biggest question mark about Coach Saleh. But the leader of men component, that man has proven time and time again he definitely can motivate, inspire grown men. And that's a component that's very important when it comes to head coaching. Now, again, the X's and O's piece, we've seen, kind of a bit of a roller coaster in terms of, hey, wow, okay, he's got it figured out, to what the hell was he thinking? We saw time management issues this season that made us question some things. So the X's and O's component when it comes to Coach Saleh really has me kind of concerned. A lot of question marks, but I'm willing to be patient enough to let the man grow, because it's a position that, it's his first time he's doing it. Most head coaches have to grow into the position. And he did take a step from year 1 to year 2, but there's no doubt, like you said, there's no doubt that he is a leader of men. He knows how to inspire. He knows how to motivate. get his team behind him. But the X's and O's component is also huge, and that's where I think right now we still have a big question mark, and hopefully we see him take a big step with that next year.
Yeah, I mean, well said, man. So let's take a look at for a second. The awards have begun. So Justin Jefferson won
Offensive Player of the Year.
Player of the Year. So I think rightfully so. I mean, dude, there were games. What was it? Which was the game? What the hell was against the Bills, right? Justin Jefferson against the Bills. Dude, without him, that's not even a game.
No, it's not.
The things he was doing in that game, like we were here watching it, like, whoa, oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think rightfully so.
Defensive Player of the Year.
And now Nick Bosa wins Defensive Player
of the Year.
All right. Okay, so we're going to try to keep up with this stuff here.
Oh, man, this is awesome.
You like that? A fungus among us? You know, it's funny because I just spammed the chat a little bit because I went on my YouTube page. I actually changed the title of this video and I just was on there for a second. So I saw my emojis and I was like, blah, 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 and I just decided to do it. But yeah, so I changed the title of this to Thursday Thick of It Award Ceremony Watch Party. So let's just
might as well.
Yeah, right. I was like, I didn't
have
even
fun
realize.
with it.
Yeah, right. So anyway, it's good. So we're inching closer, guys. We're inching closer to the announcements that we are waiting for. Now, I'm going to be real honest. Again, we're among friends. I'm going to just be honest with you guys. I am confident, but I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm nervous that we're going to get hamstrung here. I feel like we're going to get the rug pulled out, Gunny.
Yeah.
No, I can't help it.
So Sauce said something the other day when he was on I think it was Good Morning Football. And I know I've kind of been hinting at that I believe that there was already a conversation in play and that the Jets and the Packers already have something, a handshake agreement. But Sauce said something where they were asking him about, you saw that? Did you
say it? No, say it, please.
So Sauce said they were asking him questions about the quarterback. He was like, well, you know what? Let me stop. I know a little something about something. I can't say too much. And all he did was open up a can of worms because then I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. So in my mind, I go, so he already knows there's a quarterback inbound. Is it Carr or is it Rodgers? That's the only question. So there's something that I don't even know if he was supposed to say that. I don't know if he got backlash from the coaching staff or Joe.
This is why we don't tell you anything.
This is why we don't tell you nothing, kid. You said too much. But like when he said that, I was just like, okay, if the New York Jets don't make an effort to get Derek Carr, I do believe that there is something already that's been discussed behind closed doors that says Aaron Rodgers is the next quarterback. Like I'm anxious to see this Derek Carr like interaction to see how much we pursue it. Because if we don't see him go to an interview with the Jets, or the Jets don't invite or something, to me, that's telling me, all right, so shit, Rodgers is coming to New York. I guess the only question is how they're going to make it happen before June 1st. Because otherwise we have to wait till June 1st. And that's the only question that they're trying to figure out. So I think when he slipped up and said that, I'm pretty sure he got blasted when he got back. Like, what the hell are you doing, kid? You did way too much with that because they were talking about Rodgers and he got a little too excited. Well, I know a little something, but I'm gonna keep it to oh, you shouldn't have said that, kiddo. You shouldn't have said that.
Well, and you're right. Because look, like now, whether or not the Jets are truly sharing anything with him, I doubt Joe Douglas are sitting him down and saying, hey, what do you think? This is what we're doing. But he's in the building. So there's people talking and he's a likable guy. He's a bona fide star. And so he might get some tidbits and stuff like that. But, you're so right, man. He said, I know a little something about something.
Yep.
But I can't say anything. I can't say something. So it's a real fun way, that he danced around it. But here's the truth of it, right? Like, again, like we just talked about, like the Saints and the Raiders and the problems with the Bucks. And I mean, there's a lot out there that we are among the more attractive landing spots for a quarterback trying to land in a ready-made situation. All right. Yep. Like we're not perfect, right? We have our holes but we have a lot of real legitimate strengths here too. Don't forget, man, like even though we've kind of soured on Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims, dude, these are legit talent. Like Elijah Moore, we all thought he was going to have a breakout season. whatever happened with him and LaFleur was whatever happened with him and LaFleur. His talent
Facts.
didn't evaporate. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yep.
So it's not just Garrett Wilson. We got the tight ends, we got the running backs. So we have a lot going on here. So that could make us more, more attractive. But let's not forget, guys, there's some real big connectors here for the Jets. Like we talk about Devontae Adams over there in Las Vegas. And G Money, I see your super chat. It's coming up right after this. I promise. But let's not forget, Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur are literally best friends. Now, we just fired his little brother, so maybe a little nervous. I don't know. I don't think that's an issue. I think, dude, they know the deal. They know what's going on. He landed with McVay. He stayed in the family, so to speak. It's not a big deal. Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur were best men at each other's weddings. Like, they're true buds. It's not just like they're NFL friends. These guys are like blood brothers. They're talking. You know what I mean? They're working things out. They more than likely have some, if this is going to happen, there's some sort of understanding. We just hired the offensive coordinator that 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. Like, let's not forget, so he had what we call a down year last year. Now, he had the thumb thing, and he still had 3,700 yards and a whole mess of 30-something touchdowns. So we call it a down year by his standards. But the truth is, with that year, we're in the playoffs, man. Potentially, we're deep in the playoffs, right? So
with that, we would have won the AFC East.
With just those with that production, we win the AFC East. No question about it. We beat the Patriots, we beat the Bills, we beat the Vikings, all those teams. It's without question. So when you look at that, now Rodgers had the down year, but could it be because his offensive coordinator, or at least a piece of it, the camaraderie, so they took his wide receiver, yes. They replaced it with a bunch of kids, yes. But they also took his offensive coordinator left too, the guy that reportedly, they're thick as thieves. They call them buddies. That's his buddy buddy coach, they call him. So, I mean, there's a lot there, man. Like, Hackett's here. They got the Robert Saleh, Matt LaFleur thing. Like, we're not going for Carr. There's a realistic possibility, man, that we already have kind of an understanding. Like, all right, we're going to take some time. We can't show the NFL that we're tampering and all, and we're breaking the rules. He's going to go, sweat it out in the dark room and do his little quiet retreat and all the shit that he's doing. He's going to do that. But when this is all said, he's going to be traded to the Jets. We already know it's going to be a first and another potential
conditional second.
We're conditional, right. So something like that. So there's a realistic possibility, guys, that's what's really going on here. And the truth is, Aaron Rodgers is the perfect quarterback. Granted, at the end of his career, but for Hackett, for the New York Jets, for Zach, there's so many levels where Rodgers is not only a good option, he's the best option for us. So anyway, so that's kind of where it is. We can't forget all that stuff. When you're getting nervous, don't forget to bring our positives to the table, man. We have a lot to offer right now, and there's a lot of reasons why that could be what's going to happen. So G Money, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for checking in, buddy. He says, love the show, Green Bean. I agree with Gunny. Let's go down the Green Bay versus New York Jet road. If Rodgers stays in Green Bay, does Love become available? Where does he fit into the available quarterbacks? Thanks, guys. Now, this is an interesting one. It was actually mentioned, I believe Indy Jet mentioned it earlier in the chat. Is this Rookie of the Year? All right, wait, hold on, guys. We'll get.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's watch this.
Hold on. Turn on subtitles. I don't know how to do that.
I'm trying to do the same exact thing.
Yeah, my son's got a shot. He's 14. He can figure it out. I can't.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Look at how quick you do this stuff. But turn on the volume a little bit. I could do the volume a little bit. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Guys, this is huge. This is huge. There, look at Garrett. Purdy. Purdy better not win, dude.
I swear to God. He played for 3.5 games.
I know. I'm nervous about Kenneth Walker.
I am.
I got to be honest. Yeah.
Really? I'm not. I
Look at this kid. Boo! Boo! Get out
Garrett
of
Wilson,
here.
let's go!
That's right.
Let's go!
Wait, Yeah! All right.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. You were
Oh, I'm
happy.
so
No
sorry.
sweat. I didn't even realize. I thought you were just pumping up.
No!
There it is, Jets
Offensive
fans.
Rookie of the Year.
The New York Jets just got our first ever offensive rookie of the year.
God.
I'm gonna bring Wat2K and Jeremy on to clap and celebrate with us. Here he comes,
Oh
Wat2K.
Yes!
Jeremy's on the phone. I'll wait till you're off the phone. He's on the phone with Glenn. Wat2K, you psyched?
Psyched up. I got to tell you, I have not been thinking, it's just an award show. At the end of the day, we know what our players are, even if the rest of the world doesn't know or doesn't appreciate them. But a little bit of recognition and a little bit of respect. As it got closer, it's like, oh, my God, I started to tense up. And when Gunny spoiled it by about 45 seconds in advance.
I'm so sorry, guys. I feel bad. I'm like, oh, shit, my bad.
Look at
Dude.
Namath is all crying and shit. Yeah, I'm with you, Wat2K. Hold on, he's talking.
This is so cool.
Look at him. Look how awesome. Look how good looking this kid is. Come on.
All right. Now, if they just did offensive rookie, they did offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year in a row.
Look at that. But look, they're
standing
next to Namath and Sauce. Yep. They know, dude.
They know. Is Namath the only legend in the building right now? My God.
This is about to be a jet sweep.
Oh my God, this is going to be. I'm about to lose my shit.
Dude,
all right,
guys,
Gunny, you just let us know what happens.
We
what
just watched history.
I got you.
Okay. All right, hold on. Turn it up a little bit. Stefan Diggs is going to say, trust me, this kid's good.
Defensive Rookie of the Year is up, guys.
Yep. Okay,
I'm
guys.
gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna mute my mic.
In the chat, guys in the chat, defensive rookie of the year is up. We got Aiden Hutchinson. Who's it?
Hutchinson, Woolen, Sauce.
Woolen, Hutchinson, Sauce, Woolen. Anybody else?
There's got to be one more. There's Sauce. He had 20 passes defended again.
Dude, it's about to be a jet sweep.
I better mute the TV.
Turn it down 2 notches. Yeah, we just got to make sure it doesn't bleed through. That's right, Jason Edwards. So, G-Money, I'm going to come back to you, buddy. We're going to dissect the Jordan Love thing. This is obviously pressing. Jason Edwards, buddy, we are going to dominate. This is us. Listen, these people are watching. This is not the same old Jets, everybody.
It's only 3 players. Wow.
Oh, Gunny's losing it. His mic is off, man, but we can see, Gunny. We see you. All right, turn it on.
And the Defensive Rookie of the Year award goes to...
Yeah!
Yes!
Look at him! Look at him, buddy. This is amazing. Holy shit.
I knew.
Hold on, here we go. I want to hear Sauce. Amazing. Hey, turn it up a little bit. What's he saying?
I want to thank my mom right there, Lisa Gardner.
Thank your mom. That's right. Good boy.
Thank you, Mama Gardner.
My brother, Monte Gardner back there, Alexa Gardner, my sister. I want to thank the Jets organization for taking a chance on me, allowing me to be a part of the defense. I want to thank all my coaches from Little League to Detroit King High School, Cincinnati, everywhere. Last but not least.
Wat2K, lower that a little bit.
East side Detroit, man.
I love this kid. That's right. He appreciates it.
Oh my
And
God.
thanks everybody for coming. I want to get Jeremy. He's on the phone. Jeremy's on a work call, I think. I bring you on, buddy.
Man. You're right, Hank. This is not the same old Jets, baby.
They said the Jets don't win awards. We say the Jets don't win awards, guys. This ain't the same old Jets.
It's not. This is not
Just
the
not.
same old Jets. Guys, let us know how you're feeling in the chat. It looks like it's kind of upbeat right about now in the chat, as it should be. Guys, we just swept. Now there's one more. How the hell could one of those? How could maybe now it's like, Brock
it's
Purdy.
impossible.
It's impossible.
No, it's impossible.
Right?
It's impossible. It's
Now
either going to be Garrett or Sauce.
Yeah, now it's head to head. It's Sauce versus Garrett, and I think Sauce is going to take it. That's just, I mean,
oh my God,
I can't believe it, guys. This is real.
So this happened before with I gotta ask you this, Adam. So this happened before with the Saints, with Lattimore and Kamara. Has it ever happened again before that, or are we the second team to ever do that?
Yeah, I don't.
Offensive
I
rookie
think we are. I think we are.
rookie of
I haven't
the
looked it up,
year?
but I'm pretty sure we are. I knew the Saints, but I didn't know of anybody else. I'll look it up really quick. By the way, Quinn Williams did get one vote for Defensive Player of the Year. So
One?
Yeah, he got one.
Just one?
Just one. So whoever that writer was, whoever it is, to his boss, give that guy a raise because he knows his stuff.
He understands
I'm
the
telling
game.
you.
Yes.
It just takes time for people to get on. Like it's like just like Xavier. What the hell? I'm spacing the cornerback from Miami. Come on, Xavier Howard. Right. It's just like he won. He made it to the Pro Bowl. His stats were garbage. Especially like you look at head to head. DJ Reed was better on every single metric.
Oh my
But he
God.
wins because it's like the rep. It takes a minute for guys to kind of break through. It's bullshit, but it's very real. It's very real. We know that.
Y'all seen this? Jets Forever is saying it happened in 67?
I was about to say that.
Oh, are you really?
There you go. Watch
tell you that.
You're up, buddy. Go
I just
ahead.
saw the message. My
Two
bad. Go ahead, Adam.
Detroit Lions legends, Mel Farr, running back, and who's the other guy? Lem Barney, cornerback. Both Detroit Lions won Rookie of the Year in 1967.
There it is.
Wow.
The only
So it's
Lions
been a
I knew
minute.
were like Night Train Lane and Barry Sanders. That's about it.
Wow.
It's been a minute. It's been so look.
1967 it happened. First year
Yeah.
they gave the awards out. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let me just bring Jeremy on real quick, and then we'll get back to the regular part of the show. And we're going to bring you on in a few minutes anyway, Watch UK again. But Jeremy, what's up, buddy? Sorry you were on the phone. I wanted to bring you on during the exciting. What do you think of this? Are you as excited as Gunny?
I'm very happy. I only knew what was going on because I had an urgent call, but I saw Gunny jumping up and down, and I knew that means we swept. I'm really, really happy because I feel like we're getting recognition, and we're like the fact that it was both. We weren't disrespected as an organization, and it makes me think things are turning in the way we're perceived in the NFL.
That's right. That's right. This is the beginning, guys. Like you can't fire a general manager that is doing like everything's changing. Give him a second, man. This has never happened in our history. In addition to the 60-yard field goal that we watched this year, this is a historic season. Holy shit. And not only let's not forget, we've never had an offensive rookie of the year since the merger. Never. This is the first that we've ever done that. And the first time we've ever swept, obviously, offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Have we ever had the the overall rookie of the year? Watch UK. Do you know if we've ever had that?
Good question.
Here's
I'm actually
another
looking to see. Well, with the AP, they always divide it offense and defense. But then you've got the Pepsi Rookie of the Year. It's like boxing. You have like a million different weight classes. You got a million different award overall winners. Like overall Rookie of the Year by the Pro Football Writers has only been out since 2013. We've never won that. I'm going through. Yeah, then they have the offense and the defense as well. And I think there was one more. And there's the Sporting News. NFL Rookie of the Year, and that was only out for a couple of years. Yeah, the Namath did. Namath won AFL Rookie of the Year, if that means anything, back in '65, but that's a different league.
Yeah, I mean, since the merger. Yeah, right.
In terms of an overall Rookie of the Year by any of the voting bodies, no, that has never happened.
Has any team in the NFL ever swept offensive and defense Rookie of the Year in the same year?
We just talked about 1967, the
Detroit
Lions.
67, and then
That's what we were talking
2017.
about for the last 15 minutes.
Okay,
It's okay. Jeremy was on the phone. Give him right.
Okay.
Only been done 3 times. 3 times ever. That's
the
I
third.
mean, I can
that's
look through
still
each one, but it's going to take a
historical.
moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
So look, it's our first time ever winning offensive Rookie of the Year. It's our first time ever sweeping it, and it's only the third time in NFL history that the same team won both. And so we had one in 2017, and before that, it's what is that? 40 years, 50
67.
years.
yeah.
50 years, 2017.
On the same day that Klecko gets the call.
On the same day. And don't forget,
Oh,
guys, we're going to
God.
hang out until Klecko gets in. We're not leaving. At least I'm not. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm here alone.
Gotta see it.
Gotta see it live with each other. We got to see this. We got to experience this one together. So we got 2 more to go, everybody. We just swept the offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year. We got overall Rookie of the Year coming up, and the senior candidate. It's rumored that that's going to be announced tonight as well. And it's rumored that Klecko already got the call confirming that he will, in fact, be this year's senior inductee to the Mother Effing Hall of Fame. This is the best night in a long damn time. Man. So I'm going to get some comments. I saw, let me just see. V-Man, right? Thank you, V-Man. He says 1 Rookie of the Year on offense since Namath. That's it. And then it's Garrett Wilson. That's literally it. Think about that. And, look, guys, for so long, we've had a few years where we were like a great defense, but it's really, we have never been a great offensive team, man. And it's time, man.
Right.
It's time. What were you going to say?
I don't think we understand like the I mean, I know we get it, but Garrett Wilson is arguably the second best offensive rookie we've got on this team. Breece Hall would have ran away with this award had he not gotten hurt. That's what makes this so much more like crazy to me, is that the number 1 and number 2 offensive rookies from this class are on the New York Jets.
Oh,
So
okay.
true.
I got the voting breakdown for you for defensive rookie of the year. It just
I gotta
came
hear
in.
this.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, first place of votes. To make sure I'm understanding this. Okay, so you get 5 points for first, 3 points for second, 1 point for third. There were 50 votes. Sauce got 46 of the 51st place votes.
God,
Close.
Who got the other 4?
Close.
Did Woolen get the other 4?
It had to be. Oh no, Hutchinson.
Hutch got 3 and Woolen only got 1. So, fourth place was Thibodeau. So Jalen Petrie and Sam Williams finished with 1 point each. Kayvon Thibodeau finished with 3 points. He had. Wait a second. Did Kayvon Thibodeau actually get? What did Kayvon Thibodeau actually get? He got 3 third place votes. All right. Tariq Woolen had 73 points. Aiden Hutchinson had 129 points, and Sauce Gardner 242. 46 first place votes and 4 second place votes. Killed it.
Hey,
Crushed it. That's
God
domination.
damn.
See if I can find Garrett. Yeah, I'll see if I can find Garrett for us.
Yeah. Now this. Look. This.
God.
Is this it? Is this the senior? Oh, Walter Payton, Man of the Year.
It's Walter Payton. I've got Garrett whenever you want me to give that.
GreenBean, you did miss the super chat. I put it in, but while I was
Who is it?
Radovan.
Well, I got to get. Okay, let me just cap. I did. Thank you. That's why Jeremy does.
Whoa.
I want to just cap G Money's real quick. Look, the truth is Jordan Love is a first round pick who's been grooming behind one of the best quarterbacks of all time for 3 years, in the same way that Rodgers was sitting behind Favre. Any interest in Jordan Love? Let's say they decide to keep Aaron Rodgers. Would you, if they say, hey, we'll give you a Jordan Love for a second? Any interest, Gunny? What do you think?
I think if we do that, we got to re-sign Mike White. Like that, it's too much of an unknown. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to go ahead and deem this a win at the quarterback position in the offseason, because we have no clue what we're getting. Right? Like right now, we're seeing it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Arguably, we would have had 2 candidates for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Elijah Vera Tucker ain't no scrub. He's going to come back healthy as well. Like, we've got pieces in play that's ready to win now. And we all just said it. We were a quarterback away from winning the AFC East. A competent quarterback away from winning the AFC East. We don't know. We don't have enough tape on Love to know what he can do. If we do that, we're going purely off of upside. And if that's the case, we're going to need a security blanket and a Mike White, right? And hopefully Mike can stay healthy and play some games if Love isn't the guy. But I will say this, if that happens, I will feel as if we might have failed in the offseason in terms of quarterback acquisition.
Interesting. I don't know how to feel either. Jeremy, what do you think? If that's the way it ended up, if we ended up that, hey, the Jets threw a second at the Packers and we got Jordan Love fresh, groomed, 3 years, just getting better, sucking up the NFL, would that be a win or a fail for you?
I consider it a fail because we want to know what we're getting. And I'm not even saying that like it has to be Carr and Rodgers. I'm just saying it has to be that we know what we're getting. For all we know that Love comes in, he's not as good as White, like Gunny said. I mean, we don't know. It's just too much of a mystery. And right now we're in a position where we're ready to win. We're ready to make a real push. We need to know exactly what we're getting. Not a mystery.
Okay. So look, we'll move on real quick. Radovan, thank you for the super chat. He says, injury issues aside, is there a concern that Jimmy G is a system quarterback that looks good because he plays for the 49ers? Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things coming out. The fact that Brock Purdy, 7th round Mr. Irrelevant, stepped in an emergency and looked equally, if not better, as Jimmy G, that speaks volumes about the system being where people are thriving, that if Jimmy G leaves that bubble, he might not have the same success. Watch UK, what do you think? You think, any concerns aside from the injury, that if he leaves the San Fran bubble, that we're going to see a different Jimmy G?
I don't want to give too much away because I'm actually planning on doing a video on Jimmy G. Talking, I'm actually going to go into his injury history specifically. Like, everyone talks about how injured he gets, but do we really know what kind of injuries we're talking about, and are they injuries that are going to affect him long term? Plus,
so that all aside, what do you think about
all of that involved? I think he is on the verge of playing the best quarterback he's ever played in his career. I think he was playing as well as he ever had until he broke. Till Jalen Phillips fell down on his foot, drove his knee into the outside of Garoppolo's foot, and took him out. This wasn't a non-contact injury where he was brittle. Jalen Phillips beat Mike McGlinchey like a dog on that play and, chased down Garoppolo, drove his knee into him, and took him out. So, to me, I'm not so much worried about the injuries. To me, are the biggest concern. I'm not really worried about the system. He can get rid of the ball quickly. He's 4-2 in the playoffs. Has he had a great surrounding cast? Yes, but you know what? We can give him a good surrounding cast also. Now, is Nathaniel Hackett a good fit for Garoppolo? That I don't know. I think that Hackett was hired with the full intent of getting Aaron Rodgers. It's pushing all your chips to the center of the table. Yeah. And I realized as the year went on that LaFleur and Wilson was not a compatible football marriage. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Garoppolo and Hackett would be as well. But Garoppolo is definitely my number 3 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, his career completion percentage is like 68. So it's like, I mean, he's an impressive quarterback when he's on, when he's healthy. Again, the two concerns, injury and whether or not it's the Kyle Shanahan bubble that's making him look so good. Valid questions, man. I mean, Jimmy G, I wouldn't be devastated if that's the guy we get. I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, he sees a significant improvement, but I'd be nervous. And I would really want a more secure number 2. I think Zach should be 3. I don't think Zach should be number 2 this year. It's stupid. It's like the whole thing is a wash. It's like, why have any pressure on him? If we're going to do this thing and develop him and remove him from the spotlight, why have him behind an injury prone quarterback? He's going to be in there by week 8. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you go out there, if you're going to get Jimmy G, Mike White's always injured. I'd be nervous with him. Just bring in a guy, Jacoby Brissett, anybody, Jameis Winston, somebody on that tier that can be a Tannehill if he's a little older. I don't know. Somebody on that tier that if they come in for 3-4 games, they can actually keep the high standard going. I'd like to see that. Hennessy talking about Broadway Joe looking like a proud papa. He's sitting over there with his boys. Oh, it's so good, man. It does feel like Christmas. Cosmic breath work. This is a great night, guys. And again, don't go anywhere. We're going to hang out until Joe Klecko gets in the damn Hall of Fame, man. Any do we have like a timeline? Did they announce, like, where is that in the schedule? Anybody have the program? Anybody have it? Remember programs, man?
I figured that was the next step for you and Dom on your way back from Mobile. I figured you'd make a detour in Vegas, but no, I know the show goes till 11 o'clock Eastern, so we're almost halfway through. But in terms of what happens when, no, we have no idea. At least I don't.
All right. Okay. Let's see here. I guess if you guys want to hang for the rest of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm just kidding. I did. I say, look, you guys switch sides. That's weird. Let me see something. There it is. Okay, I like this better.
This is the order Jeremy and I are used to when we do.
Yeah, right. It already looked weird to me. You on the left. I was like, I don't like that one bit. Let's see what you guys are happening. You guys are talking about here. Revis and Klecker were next. Well, they don't announce the regular Hall of Fame group tonight. I don't believe they do anyway. That would be really something, man, if they did that. I don't think we're going to hear about Revis, but again, it's widely considered the deal that Revis is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, it might not, of course, but generally speaking, he is. Now, did you guys see the other candidates on the list with him? Let me just show you guys. It's really funny. It's actually really cool. 2023 Hall of Fame candidates. Okay. I should maybe say finalists.
15 finalists. Yeah, there's 15.
All right.
I know that.
Let me see. So, but it's funny. Watch this. This is why it's widely considered just about a lock. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna share this with you in just a moment here. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna share this with you guys. Watch this, guys, and you're gonna say, okay. I mean, if he doesn't get in, it's. I mean, there's some foul play going on here. All right. Let me get this to you guys. Oh, nope, not that. Oh, they changed this on me. Wow, that looks different. Okay, here we go. All right, so take a look here. Here's who we got. So we got Willie Anderson. He's an offensive tackle. We got Rondé Barber, Dwight Freeney. It's funny. These are all guys like now that they're, it's just crazy how old I'm getting. Like Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Albert Lewis. There he is, Revis. Then we got Joe Thomas, Zach Wilson. I'm just kidding. Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. Can anybody guess what I'm going to say here? Anybody want to guess why I would show you guys this list and say this supports Revis being a first ballot Hall of Famer? Any guesses? No. Oh my God.
I figure where you're going with this.
I mean, just
I'm trying to figure it out too.
Albert Lewis.
Albert Lewis is the other cornerback.
I'm saying, how would it not be? How would Jarrell Williams not get it?
Does anybody remember this?
Okay. I see where we're going.
Revis literally blanketed and shut down, completely neutralized two, Andre Johnson and Reggie Wayne.
This is true.
Two of the other finalists were completely shut down by this guy. Can they possibly get in over him? When they went head to head, he completely made them look stupid.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's negative for me. You can't do that. He owned them. He owned them both.
Like Rex Ryan Hose Hembo in those ESPN trivia contests. He owned them.
Yeah, wait. So am I covering Jeremy's face? I'm sorry, buddy. There he is. So yeah, so that's a really, for me, when I look at that,
there's a reason he put you on the bottom, dude.
Yeah, I didn't realize it would be that way.
It's just being kind to the audience.
Yeah, no, I think you're better looking than we say. Actually, you're not a bad looking fella, especially when you shave, when you're freshly shaven.
Yeah,
you look good.
That bald head, yeah, it suits you, brother. It suits you.
So you're right. Now you guys see this. So how in the world could Andre Johnson and Reggie Wayne make it in over the guy that when they played each other made them look stupid, completely shut them down? Yeah. So again, I think that's,
the only argument you can make is the longevity that those two players had. That's really the only thing. But if you talk about who was the best at their peak, it's not always about being a compiler.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, how high were you when you were at your peak? And Revis had it for how many peak years did he have? I mean, I would say at least 5 years, 6 years.
5, yeah.
He was
And
the best in the world.
obviously crowned by 2009, but yeah, I mean, he was a stud. I mean, because like Gunny said before, he didn't have the same rookie year that Sauce had, but he was no slouch his rookie year. I think he had 4 picks. And he was still a very, very good cornerback. He just wasn't Revis yet, you know. But again, like that's the only argument for it, right? It's like, okay, well, what about the rest of their career? It doesn't all boil down to the one time they played. But again, if we're looking at guys that are worthy of getting in the Hall of Fame, they're all finalists, so we already know they're all worthy. How can the guy make it in over the other guy who shut me down? Like, I just don't see it. Now, I think they all should make it, quite frankly. I think those are 3 guys that should make it out of this list. I think, for me, I think DeMarcus Ware. I think, again, Reggie Wayne. I think Woodson is another one. I mean, Hester to me is the lock. Yeah,
he is the absolute best ever at what he did.
The best ever.
Oh,
and I don't think it'll ever be repeated what he did. I think that's
not in this NFL.
No,
remember, like
he
every
did he did it in the Super Bowl, right? So.
Yeah, every Sunday too. Chris Berman on ESPN every Sunday was like Devin Hester. I mean, every week he did something amazing for years. You know,
living in Chicago during that era was crazy. I mean, Hester was far and away the most. I mean, forget it. I mean, forget a quarterback. Hester was far and away, and Urlacher. Those were the 2 jerseys in Chicago that were everywhere.
Everybody had. Yep.
They're doing a coach of the year now.
All right. It's Robert Saleh, baby. He would have been in it. He would have if he didn't.
He would have if not for the epic collapse. Yep.
I think it's got to be Dable or it's got to be Peterson. One of those 2.
Yeah, totally. I would say Peterson. I
want to share something with you guys real quick.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
So my son is in here watching the award ceremony with me. He was excited as well. He saw my excitement. He reciprocated. So he goes into my room and tells the wife, "Hey, Daddy's so happy. The Jets won. The Jets won." Jessica's immediate response is, "Oh fuck, they got Aaron Rodgers."
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So she jumped on her phone looking for Aaron Rodgers to Jets news. Like she was like, "Son of a bitch."
She's thinking, right? She's thinking, what else could he possibly mean? What would get Daddy this excited? Right?
Wow,
that's amazing.
She came out of the room like, I freaked out. I thought y'all got Aaron Rodgers for a moment. I'm like, don't worry. That's next. It's coming.
That's funny, man. I could see it. I would think the same thing. Unrelated question checking in. Thank you for the super chat. Seahawks fans are in shambles right now. Dude, you know they are. I mean, all like the whole second half of the season going into the offseason, there was this argument that Tariq Woolen had a better year than Sauce Gardner. And the truth is, if you just look at, like we talk about this all the time, box score, right? Just look at numbers. He has more picks, and there's quite a few stats where to the naked eye, to the first glance, he looks like he had a better year.
Yep.
But it's not true because you got to look at the situations and you got to look at what the competition, you got to look at all that stuff. Sauce was shutting down, same like we were talking about Reeves, completely shutting down and neutralizing some of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL, making them a non-factor. And then look at all those highlights where Sauce, the bombs, dude, they were all touchdowns, last play of the game. Like if he wasn't that good, they win. Like that's how important those moments were in many instances. It's completely different. It's a whole different tier. It's a whole different level. And yeah, man, you saw it. I mean, what you said, he got 1 vote. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Quinn got 1 vote. Yeah.
No, I mean, Woolen.
Let's be honest.
Woolen,
Offensive player of the year was Justin Jefferson. What did he do against freaking Sauce?
Right,
pretty quiet that game.
He did score 1 touchdown, but that's when I think DJ. That
was on DJ. That wasn't on Sauce. Yeah, that was on DJ.
Yeah. David was coach of the year, so well earned.
I mean, right.
That was.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had he had a few catches for 38 yards or something like that. Like he had something. He but again, it was like the weeks before that, he was like 130 yards.
Yep. And then it was dominating. Doing what he wanted at will.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So it's I think
it was a double whammy for the Seahawks, right? Because they also wanted Walker to get the offensive.
Yeah, offensive rookie of the year.
Oh, that's
double
whammy.
I forgot about draft class. So yeah, they still had a great draft class. They could be happy. Hey, they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs at least.
That's right.
Worst conference, but
that's right.
They had a competent quarterback.
That's right. We're over here doing.
This 8 years from now, Zach. Yeah, 8 years from now, Zach will be competent.
He'll be competent.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
wait
look,
8
I mean,
years.
this
buddy.
is what we do. This is called we're doing Jets things. I mean, we don't make it to the playoffs, but in the offseason, you better recognize we own this shit. And this is how we roll, man. And I mean, this is a big one. We've never done this before, but we know how to offseason. You know what I mean? So, if we get Aaron Rodgers and all that, great. But look at the way we're starting it, man. And Seattle, yeah, you had the better season, and head-to-head, you made us look stupid, actually. That was one of our, if not our worst game of the entire year. I mean, we looked lifeless for much of that game. So they got that, and that's pretty damn important. But this, Seattle fans, like Unrelated Question said, they wanted at least one of these. They wanted one, and we just told both of their boys to sit down, and I love it. I'll take it. That's all we got. So Aunt Gina's checking in. She says, so GreenBean, are you happy I made you a Jets fan so long ago? Gina, look, what I'm doing right now is I'm scraping up any happiness I can. It's like, now, am I happy I'm a Jets fan? I don't know. I am one, so it's hard to say otherwise. But it's like if you say to a starving guy who's eating, he's finally got a loaf of bread. You go, aren't you happy I made you starving? Oh, look at that loaf of bread you got. It's pretty good. It's tough. Again, I'm just gathering up any positives I can with these New York Jets. But the good news, Gene, is that I honestly believe that we're turning a corner. Like, I honestly believe it. It looks different to me. It's not the 2015 year. Like, I looked at 2015. I knew Brandon Marshall was old. I knew Fitzpatrick was gonna have his down. He does that everywhere he goes. He real good year, real bad year. I knew Eric Decker's always injured. I knew Chris Ivory was injured. I just looked at that team and I was like, it's very unlikely that this is our team that takes us and, we have a bunch of good years. Like, you could see it. It was eroding before our eyes. This is different. We're seeing us recognized with our rooks. Like, these are our young bucks, man. This isn't Brandon Marshall coming in and looking good at the tail end of his career. This is Garrett Wilson. This is Sauce Gardner. And we might even see Joe Klecko, which that could like put an old curse to bed. You know what I mean? Like, if Klecko gets in, if we break that curse-ish kind of thing, that's a big one too, man. That's a big one too. V-Man checking in. Thank you, V-Man. He says, didn't expect to see the president of Ukraine here. Oh, he's there?
I haven't seen him. I just saw that, man. I was like, I haven't seen him on there.
Is he there? I don't even know. I'm not sure. V-Man, if that's a joke or something, just know I don't get it.
Which one of us is the president of Ukraine?
I'm over here like, was that an inside joke towards us? Maybe.
Yeah.
Which one of us looks like him? It's not Gunny.
No, it ain't me. I promise you that.
Right. And I'll tell you what,
brothers in Ukraine. Okay.
Equally, it ain't me, buddy. I'll tell you that.
He doesn't have a big beard.
No.
So he's Jewish, so it might be me.
I don't see him.
Y2K kind of might. A little bit. I mean, little bit. No,
I've been told I look very Turkish. Like, some people in Turkey, like, I had a friend who showed a picture of me because one of my better friends at the time, and they were thinking, he Turkish. Everybody thinks I was, people from Turkey thought I was Turkish. I don't know.
Amazing.
Bartolo, my last name, it's not very Turkish. I'll put it that way.
I don't see you as Turkish. That's an interesting one. Thomas Cahill checking in. He says, Gunny is right. Of course, Gunny's right. We have 3 Rookie of the Year with Brees. That's the thing. Now, let me say this. Let's say Garrett Wilson had the exact same year and Brees wasn't injured. Gunny, who do you think? You think it's Brees over Garrett, or do you think Garrett still takes it out?
It's not even close. Brees Hall. It took 3 weeks after Brees Hall went down for any other rookie rusher to even come close to where he was at. Not to mention he was second in the league in rushing. You know what I'm saying? Up to that point. Like that. It wouldn't be close. I'm sorry to say it. And I love Garrett Wilson. I love what he's done with the trash quarterbacks he's had to deal with. But Brees Hall would have ran away with that award. And it would be just like freaking Sauce Gardner running away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. It would have been that kind of a performance with Brees if he was healthy.
Gotcha. All right. Jeremy, you agree? You think Brees would have had it?
Oh, no question about it. And maybe people think that I'm way ahead of myself, but I honestly, the ACL injury actually, was a punch in my stomach to it. But since he was drafted, I've been screaming this. I think he's a premier special running back. Like I think Brees, and he was starting to live up to it. I'm thinking like the level of an Adrian Peterson type of running back, a franchise changing running back. And he was starting to show it. He was changing our franchise as a rookie. Only 8 games in, you saw the impact he was having, and hopefully he'll recover fully from the ACL. I only hope, because I still feel that way about him.
I know. I feel the same way. He looked like he was just getting started, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He was just getting comfortable. What a hit that was.
I got to tell you, I wonder if Brees hadn't gone down, because they were figuring out their offensive formula. Run with Brees, those quick read passes, and that was an offense that was working. I am going to wonder if Brees never goes down, if Vera Tucker doesn't go down, does Mike LaFleur still have his job with the Jets? That injury.
Yeah, I think so too. Because then that covered up Zach. So then Zach wasn't as glaring as it was. Totally different thing. Now, look, Seattle got fan of the year, though. Is that what I'm seeing?
Apparently, I guess he gets to present an award with whoever that is.
Why is he fan of the year?
Yeah, I call.
And why is he wearing a 22 instead of 12? I know it's for 2022, but should he be wearing a 12?
Yeah, that's got to be
Seattle
2022.
Jonathan
Francois checking in. Thank you, buddy. He says tonight is the start of a perfect offseason. Now, if it's a perfect offseason, we get Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yes.
And Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 has a very interesting take on all this. That we will give up 13 and the conditional pick next year, but it's going to be for Aaron Rodgers and that favorite left tackle of his, Bakhtiari. So imagine that. That could be even more perfect, because then, look, we get Becton back. We still got Dwayne Brown. We got Mitchell. Got a whole bunch of dudes, but we get, Aaron Rodgers' favorite guy for a year as well. That could make it even more perfect. But let me say this. What would be the other move? Y2K, I'll start with you real quick. So we get Aaron Rodgers, maybe the left tackle, but to make this the perfect offseason following tonight, what has to happen after Aaron Rodgers in your mind?
Wow. One other move along with Aaron Rodgers to make this a perfect offseason. I want to almost cop out and say hearing that Breece Hall is ready for training camp. But as far as that would make it perfect. But as far as a actual transaction, looking at the free agent classes a little bit like I have, I mean, there are some pretty darn good safeties out there. I'm thinking about a free agent acquisition. You know what? John Michael Schmitz at center. Bring him in to fortify that offensive line. Getting him at 43, keeping our 2 and fortifying that offensive line would make me one happy guy.
No. Oh, yeah.
No.
I like it. I think that's a good one. Okay, let me bounce this. Tammy McDaniels, it's interesting comment, man. I agree, dude. Like, I worry that we're becoming more and more entertainment, and like it's going to be like, look how many fans still go to WWE, and the NFL could be looking at it like that. Like, let's just control the narrative. Let's just control it. That's bullshit to me. I don't want that. Why do they have to fucking ruin everything, man? You know what I mean? Just let them play. I don't know.
It's all about the money, dude. We know what it is. It's just about having events, sponsors, and money. Good to see Jim Kelly is well enough to be at the award show. That is very cool.
All right, Dom C. I know, and it always is. But look, they can make just as much money doing it this way. I'm convinced. I mean, doing it the right way. I don't know. Just as much. Dom C. It's just all greed. They got to squeeze the lemon, control it. Dom C. are checking in. What's up, Dom? Good to see you, buddy. He says, just remember, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 wants to trade our defense. Oh, he's bringing this shit up again. Defensive Rookie of the Year and first-round picks to Baltimore. Our job is to never let him live that.
But he was the one who was happiest about drafting Sauce. So that it is kind of ironic how the tide has turned.
This is true.
But it's funny. So it's just showing how much he likes the idea of Lamar Jackson. Like, that's what he's saying. If you could do that, he's even willing to trade Sauce and a first. Now, I'd rather give up another pick than Sauce Gardner, because a pick is a crapshoot. You know what I mean? Yeah. But look, just so we remember how much Ryan loved the Sauce Gardner pick, I had a different reaction, which I'm not embarrassed to say, but this is how it went that night.
Holy shit! That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Wow. Oh, I can't believe it. I am. Gave me a damn heart attack. I'm shocked. Wow. I really am. Dude, I love it.
Dude, I love it.
Every time you're the slightest bit down, I'm going to be hopeful because you were down initially on the AVT trade because you thought it was more than what it turned out to be. I still remember that, and the same thing with Sauce. So the more down you are, the more optimistic I'm going to be from this point forward.
Well,
but you were right about
that's not entirely accurate, but I hear you. But don't forget, like what my plans were those years would have worked as well. Like with the AVT thing, I would have just sat where I was taking Creed Humphrey and had 2/3.
Would have worked for us too. Yeah,
that works too. Like again, like it's the same thing. Like I am not unhappy with AVT. Again, my plan was yeah. So that's all. And like it's a funny thing, guys. Like you can't forget, like what Ryan, Matt, and I do is kind of lead with our chin here. Like, my first reaction is not necessarily always how I feel. It's just my first initial reaction. I can feel differently 30 seconds later. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I go, fuck. And then I'm like, oh, okay. But that's always remembered. You hated it. You know what I mean? No. It's like, so I'm putting that out.
It's just fun. Yeah. It's just, I mean, because we're all, if we're honest with ourselves, we're all wrong. It's just that we all get to see your reaction more than,
Yeah.
That's just
yeah. So look, and again, I'm very, very happy with Sauce Gardner. Of course. I love it. I love that they had the wherewithal to do that. I still think that if Aiden Hutchinson was there, they would have probably taken him first, but maybe I'm wrong, man. Sauce looks, he's the best damn rookie of the year. You know what I mean? So they nailed it. And remember, like when Joe Douglas, when the Texans took Derek Stingley, Joe Douglas, who's a reserved man, you know what I mean? He went, ooh, and his chair spun.
Yep.
Like that speaks volumes. Like that was their guy. You could see it. The idea that the Texans took a cornerback and it wasn't Sauce, they couldn't believe it. So, hey, we all love Sauce. V-Man checking in again. Okay, so he's going to explain what he was saying. Okay, thank you, buddy. He says, they had a video honoring Ukraine's football league at the honors ceremony, which included a pre-recorded video by Zelensky. Okay, so yeah, we have it on mute and shit, and we're talking, so we didn't catch that. So it wasn't you, Y2K, and it wasn't Gunny. It wasn't Gunny. He was saying looked like.
We ain't the president of Ukraine just because they don't know us yet. If we made a visit over there, I'm sure that we would fit in very well.
Give us time.
Yeah, what'd you say, Jeremy?
They announced Coach of the Year.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about it. It was Dable.
Oh yeah, it was Dable. Yeah. Okay.
And again, now they're running another video package. Looks like it's about DeMar Hamlin. So
see, look, there it is. There it is. No, hated is a strong word, right? That's it. I didn't hate it because I knew, at least I felt that he was a good player. I knew we were getting a good player. Again, I had a different draft plan, and that's all. That's what it boils down to. Again, same thing like with Garrett Wilson. Like I said it 1,000 times, but if we were going to take a wide receiver at 10, I wanted it to be Garrett Wilson. I said it time and time again, but I was of the school of thought that you could maximize the draft by getting Devin Lloyd there and then getting one of the receivers. We had, the 2 early seconds. So what I wanted to do was grab who would have slid there. I thought some other guys were going to slide like Dotson and some other guys, but it ended up being George Pickens. And he was my favorite wide receiver in the draft anyway. You know what I mean? I just didn't like his injuries. So he took a back seat because I was worried. But so if I would have gotten, Devin Lloyd and George Pickens, it's not exactly, chopped liver. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. But when it boils down again, I happen to like Garrett Wilson as a person, as the player, like the actual guy we got, not just the production on the field. I think he's my favorite, man. Like next to Quinnen, he's my favorite friggin' Jet. So I'm very happy that it is Garrett Wilson and that the Jets had the balls to do it the way that they did it. It takes guts, man, especially passing on edge. And then, see, look,
twice.
Right. But look, now see how it gets worse. Now, did you see utterly disgusted? Was I utterly disgusted or was I like, damn? You know what I mean? What was it? Was I utterly disgusted?
You said, damn. I think most of it was shock. Let's be honest. Like I said before, I was really hoping the Jets would go Sauce. I just did not believe it was high enough on the hierarchy that they would do it. I was more shocked that the Jets actually went Sauce Gardner. I swore it was going to be an edge rusher.
Yeah.
And I was saying, they're like, man, I would love Sauce Gardner, but we're going to go edge, which I understood because we needed edge. And when they went Sauce, I was elated. But for a moment, I was like, oh, shit, we really just did that? The Jets just did that? It was more of a shock thing for me. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be the first to admit the Garrett Wilson pick, I was pissed off about that one. I was highly upset. I thought, okay, now we're not getting an edge rusher. This is dumb. We just
made no sense.
No sense to me. Yeah. So I was more vocally upset about the Wilson pick because I felt, okay, we got Sauce. We still got a couple of edge options on the board. This is going to be great. We went Garrett Wilson, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what? That one to me. I would admit,
I'm sorry, Gunny, go on.
I reacted negatively about the Garrett Wilson pick. Although now I'm ecstatic that we went that route.
Yeah, and that's more what it is. Like, I loved the players. Like, there's tons of players that you like.
Yes,
but it's like your draft plan. And the Jets have for over a decade have found a reason not to take an edge rusher in the first round. And we were up at 4. And there were really, like, edge was a strong point of the draft. I didn't want to see us let the first wave go and then settle later. That was what it was. It was same thing with you. I wanted one of those first 2 picks to be a damn edge rusher. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. So I was confused. Now, that all said, here's my Garrett Wilson reaction. I don't even remember what this one is. So let me see here. I don't remember exactly how I reacted. Now I'm showing you my ass here, everybody. So give me a break.
Hey, right? Own it, GreenBean.
Right. Yeah, here it is. All right, here's the Garrett Wilson pick. Let's see.
Let's go.
See, I liked it.
Get our receiver. Wow.
See, now because again, that was my favorite receiver. Like, as the guy, I thought we should draft if we did, but I couldn't. I was with Gunny. I just couldn't believe it, but I couldn't complain about the player.
Right. It looks like you're wanting to embrace it. It's like, okay, I like it, but I don't love it. It's
it was
not what I would have done. That's
it was more acceptance. It was more acceptance than anything.
It could have been worse.
Said, you know what?
It's not what I would have done.
Exactly.
That's right. I wish I had my Zach Wilson. I just don't have that clip. I can find it. Obviously, it's out there, but I knew it was going to happen. Like, I was 99%, but I was still holding out that, like, the last second we'd say the Jets trade. Like, that's what I really wanted, right? And when they did, like, I made myself clap. What is that noise? I'm hearing like a doom doom doom. Do you hear that?
I'm hearing something too. I don't know.
Let me see. What is that? Is it Jeremy? Let me see if it's Gunny. Hold on.
Jeremy. It's definitely Gunny.
Yeah, I think it's on Gunny's end. Is it? It's not my end, right? Let me just make sure. I don't hear it.
You're
anymore.
fine.
Okay.
Unless you're hearing my son playing on the PS5. He's on the PS5 tapping on the controller. Is that coming through on the mic?
Yeah, there's just something like
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, bud.
Hey, GreenBean.
you're doing that little aggressive.
That's fine.
You need to relax.
Hey, you got a special message, and everybody else can have these special messages too if they become a member of your channel.
The Stream Beaners. All right.
Jason Edwards is celebrating 1 month as a member and has his.
Amazing. All right, I'm going to get right to that. I just want to tell Chrono Kenny to suck it. Okay, if I was the damn GM of this team, believe me when I tell you, we would have had multiple Super Bowls. Trust me, and we would have had the same coach for 15 years. Trust me, Kenny.
We would have drafted 5 tight ends 2 years ago. Is what we would have done.
Yeah. Let me tell you, my offense would be running people over. Remember, 4 yards wins the game. That's all you need, buddy. That's it. All right, so let me get to the message, and then I see Thomas Cahill. Where's the message? I don't see it, Jeremy. Where is it?
It's from Jason Edwards. It's I don't know what to tell you.
It's not like a highlighted. He wrote it.
It's highlighted in the regular chat, like on YouTube. It's highlighted, like it's all.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's highlighted in our comments on StreamYard. That's the problem. It comes after. I don't know. You want me to just cut and paste it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Jason Edwards. It's big news, buddy. It's big news. And again, I think I need 2 more stream beaners to add 2 more emojis. So it's like, again, well, I'm only limited by I hate that YouTube does that. It's weird to me. Like, let me fluff up the damn membership. Why does it have to be limited until I get people? I don't, doesn't make sense to me, but they do that. So I have to get a certain amount of members in order for it to be robust. So I have all the emojis ready. I have tons. I had Fiverr make me some. Ryan made me some. Me and my wife made some. So I have all kinds of fun emojis for you guys. But you got to join the membership, the Stream Beaners, to get in. And we're going to have ourselves a private Stream Beaner mock draft in a couple weeks as well. The Beanbaggers, we know that. We're going to do that with the Beanbagger group. The link is in the description. We're going to go ahead and do that as well. We do the breakdowns and everything. It's a little bit more robust of a membership. The Stream Beaners is specifically for the live streams. And again, guys, it greatly helps the channel and it is appreciated. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys are the best. So Thomas Cahill checking in. GreenBean, can you play the clip of JD and Salah at the draft? You know what, Thomas, I don't have it, and I'll tell you why. I shared with you guys, my hard drive got completely wiped. Like when I brought my computer in to get a new battery, they told me it was literally, in his words, 99% chance you're not losing anything on your hard drive. Because I back it up, but I didn't. Like I have an external hard drive. Long story short is I lost about 1 terabyte of shit, honestly, of irreplaceable stuff, a lot of it. But so I have like slowly building up all my stuff again. It's painful, man. But I don't have that clip. We can find it. It's in Flight 2022. That's where it is. The Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh during the Sauce pick. And then when they traded up for Jermaine Johnson and Ulbricht comes in, the hug between Ulbricht and Joe Douglas is the hug only 2 former like animal football players can give each other. It's like this. It's like this. It speaks volumes about who they really are.
And Ulbricht's coming in looking like a lumberjack, with the flannel shirt and everything. Oh, he really did.
He really did. Look at Kyle Brandt stealing my goddamn gig with the roller coasters, you bastard. Come on. You know what I mean? Out of all the teams in the world, he does the Jets thing on a roller coaster. Give me a break. Tell me they don't watch us.
This whole show could have been over in 30 minutes. It's like so drawn out with videos and performances. I'm waiting for a band to show up and do a concert or something. I mean, this could have been over like forever ago, but they've given out 6 awards in an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah. That's the whole deal.
Jets forever. Let me just say this to you, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mean it from my bottom of my heart. That is the stupidest take on planet Earth. That you're not allowed to have altering opinions with new data and see things, and you can be kind of want something else and still like this. The small compartment that you live in is called Ridiculousville. Okay, I want you to know that. I love you. I say you're good when you're good, but that take is downright ridiculous. Okay, and anybody that subscribes to that, you're living life the wrong way. I want you to know that. Just in life in general, if that's the way you view things, you said this, you can't say this now. Complete horseshit. All right, that's my lesson for life. Don't be like Jets forever in that regard. You're not allowed to. It's fake. You can't like him. It's fake. What? Fuck out of here. What is that? It's crazy. Let's see. So what else we got here? So where are we? It ends at 11. So we got 40 minutes. Hopefully we find out the Klecko thing. They're going to wait till the end. They know that Jets fans are anxious. Waiting.
Probably that or the MVP.
Make us wait.
Or I think MVP is going to be last. That'll be that or the Hall of Fame. There's got to be the last 2 things. So
yeah, no.
Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, they're not announcing the full class tonight, are they? I didn't hear that. Are they?
I'm looking at
I
different.
think so.
I'm looking
Really?
at different reports, and I'm seeing something on. It's like a local NBC affiliate, and it says the 12th annual Hall of Fame class will be announced Thursday, February 9th on NBC and the NFL
yeah.
Network.
Same
Says the
here. That's what I
class.
saw earlier.
So I'm going with it. I'm going to say it's the whole class based off this article.
Well, that would be amazing. I really like that idea. That'd be even better, dude. Could you imagine, dude? What a night if we even hear Revis tonight on top of it. Holy macaroni, dude. We should never. I mean, there's never been a better night for us. For real.
Emmett and Barry on stage together. Oh, man. So Emmett Smith and Barry Sanders doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. And you know, Barry Sanders is going to say it again. You know, you had an offensive line and I didn't, right? You know that. You know that, right?
Truth.
Yeah.
Let me give you, if I can, how about I give you the standings for the offensive rookie of the year? This is really interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So 10 players got votes. All right. 10th place was Isaiah Pacheco. He got 1 third place vote, so 1 point. 9th place, Damian Pierce. He got 1 second place vote. 8th place, this is interesting. Tyler Linderbaum had a first place vote.
Oh, wow.
Linderbaum. How about that one? Christian Watson came in 7th. He had a second place vote and 2 third place votes. 6th place was Kenny Pickett. He had 2 second place votes and 5 third place votes. He had 11 points. Now your top 5. Tyler Algier. He had a first place vote, a second place vote, and 4 third place votes. He had 12 points. So then you get to the top 4. Chris Olave, 4th place. A first place vote, 6 second place votes, and 7 third place votes, 50 points. 3rd place, 78 points is Brock Purdy. He had 1 first place. He had 6 first place votes. 6. 12 second place votes and 12 third place votes. So he had 78. This is what's amazing. Kenneth Walker came in 2nd. He had 19 first place votes to Garrett Wilson's 18.
Wait,
Garrett
so how
Wilson
did that
have the most first place votes?
So how does that work?
It's a point system. You get points for
point
Yeah,
system.
point system for the second and third places obviously added up
so
more.
Walker had 19 first place votes, 8 second place votes, and 10 third place votes for 129. Garrett had 18 first place votes, but 19 second place votes and 9 third place for 156. So 156 to 129. And there were only 4 voters who didn't put Garrett in their top 3. And let's see. And it was 13 who didn't put Kenneth Walker in their top 3. So that's close. Garrett ran away, but Garrett just took it. Barrel.
That's close. Yeah, that's closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And let me tell you that if that was us, I'm just gonna I try to put myself in other men's shoes, right? That's my whole thing. If that was us, we would be crying foul. Yep. Why is it about the first place votes? That's so you get more third places and you beat. We would be saying that. You know it. You know it, right?
No, 100%. No, you're right. 100%.
You'd be nuts.
Mr.
But
Green
let's
Jeans,
also.
No, go on.
Brees Hall would have swept this thing with first place votes. I'm going to put it out there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They're lucky that Kenneth Walker is even in the conversation.
There you go.
Brees would have not made it a competition whatsoever.
That's
right. One guy from Baltimore voting for
but they do that system for a bunch of reasons, you know, like in like people splitting votes if it's by position, if people tend to lean towards a position. There's a lot of reasons why they do a top 3 point system.
So wait, you said there was 3 people that didn't even have Garrett Wilson in their top 3?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, I got to pull it back. I got to pull it back up.
Like what? In what world?
I know, and situation you can't say it enough times. Everything he did with no quarterback.
No help.
Zero quarterback play. I mean, zero quarterback.
That's
play.
the other thing, right? That's the other thing.
That's crazy.
So I saw Kenobi Clone is the newest beanbagger. So yeah, thank you for doing that, Kenobi Clone. This coming Wednesday, we're getting together for some positional breakdowns. We had a fun time last night. We got together. I mean, it ended up being like 2 hours. I said, let's get together for 20 minutes. And it ended up being 2 hours. Remember, Jeremy, when you're like, I didn't want to step on Jeremy's show. And he's like, dude, it's an hour and a half away. Don't worry about it. And then it was like 2 hours later, we're still in there. But that's just the way it is with me, man. I apologize. But we had a good time doing a Senior Bowl content interview and rep dump. We just dumped everything I had, all the reps that I captured at the Senior Bowl. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. So we do all sorts of fun stuff like that with the Beanbaggers. And again, we are going to be doing private mock drafts. And the reason that those are so fun, and we are doing one with the Beanbaggers, but the reason those are so much fun is because it eliminates a lot of the noise. Like, I love the 10 o'clock mocks on Monday. Love them. It's one of my favorite things to do with you guys. But at the same time, whittling it down to like 15, 20 of us sometimes, it's nice. You know, you can have more in-depth conversations, and it's good. It's a whole different level of mock draft. So I like doing that stuff too. But thank you, Kenobi Clone. I appreciate the support. Yeah. So Jet's forever in here defending his take. I just told you, it doesn't matter what you say. That's how I feel, buddy. I think it's great. Look at it's fast show fake. Look at this guy.
Yeah, Gunny, it was just to clarify. There were 4 writers who didn't vote for Garrett in their top 3, but there were 13 who didn't put Kenneth Walker in their top 3.
See, and that's insane to me too. Both of those guys, the 13 and the 4, they're high on something. I don't know what you're smoking. If those 2 guys weren't in your top 3 for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I'm surprised Olave only got 18 votes out of 50 out of the 50 writers.
Yeah. Well,
I actually thought he'd be. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that too. I got my head chopped off for thinking Olave. He was my number 3. I was like, fucking Olave. He's my 10th. I'm like, I'm telling you, man, he's getting overlooked. But anyway, so New York Jets superfan, I want to just comment on this. And then I want to ask Y2K another refining question about what you're talking about. It's not that this is perfectly said. It's not that I didn't like the players, right? I just had a different plan. Like, that's all it is. Like, there's a lot of players, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hard it is to like nail the exact, it's not an easy thing to predict and be right on what they're going to do and the player. And again, it's like, that's really what you're allowed to like steak and cheesecake, everybody. You don't have, no. You said you prefer steak. It's like, you can like both, man. You can, it's allowed. So Y2K, I have a question. The 3 guys that didn't have Garrett Wilson on their list, did they have Kenneth Walker at the top? Like, can you see that?
No. Well, so it was 4 guys who didn't. It doesn't list like the individual ballots. I mean, maybe we could sort of you can't really tell who voted for who, because you don't have like sometimes with the Baseball Hall of Fame, you'll be like, okay, here's the writer, here are the players, here's who voted for who. This just lists the total number of votes that a player got, how many 1s, how many 2s, and how many 3s. So I couldn't tell you for sure the people who did vote for Garrett, who they did vote for. So yeah, that unfortunately I don't have right now.
All right. So can you see if they voted for Kenneth Walker then?
I would hope, if you put it this way, if they didn't vote for Garrett Wilson or Kenneth Walker, something's seriously wrong. You know, there might be that one guy. Yeah, there might be that one guy. It wouldn't shock me if, Linderbaum if the same writer voted Linderbaum 1, Pierce 2, and Pacheco 3, because those guys all got 1 vote each. Wouldn't it be funny if it all came from the same writer?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But it is kind of cool that we can see it like this now. You know what I mean? This is like where, like, look, I've said it all the time. Like, I'm still old school. Like, I think that on the field play and, the intangibles still outweigh analytics. And I know analytics is important, but it's like moving into this realm where analytics are the be all end all. And I just don't agree with that. At the same time, some of this analytical stuff is pretty damn cool. And this is one of those areas where I think this is fun. This is nice to be able to see exactly what's going on in there, rather than just like they come out with a card and go, this is the guy. And like, well, how'd you get to that conclusion? And they never tell us. I think this is, being in the dark is less fun than being in the know. I think it's good. Now you can see exactly how it happened. I prefer that. You agree, Jeremy? What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
1189. We drafted JJ right after the Ravens took Linderbaum.
Yeah.
That was JJ.
Yeah, no, look, that JJ pick was one of, honestly, and it's because of the way it tied together. It wasn't just the player JJ, but the trade up to pick JJ and solve the edge and make sure that we selected an edge player suddenly made the sauce in the Garrett Wilson picks.
Yes,
so much better.
Like, it's
30 times better.
It just completed the whole draft and made that probably That was probably the greatest draft moment of my Jets life, honestly.
Yeah.
They traded up and took JJ.
The whole thing made sense.
Yeah.
Like it's perfectly said, Jeremy. Once that happened, like the idea that both Jermaine Johnson and Karlaftis, who was one of my, the guys I really liked, the fact that they were still there and Joe Douglas made the move, like we didn't have to use top 10 picks. And we got one of the guys, like, let's be honest, if the Jets handed in a card at pick 10 and said Jermaine Johnson, everybody would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%.
I expected it.
I thought it was JJ.
Yeah, me too. So check this out. I have my reaction for Jermaine Johnson. I have no recollection of what this looks like.
I remember this one.
Do you?
I do.
I was probably really happy.
Yeah. O'Leary had a little chair spit going on if you watch it.
Okay. Let's take a look at this. This is my reaction, or not just me, Ryan, myself, and Matt O'Leary reacting to the Jermaine Johnson trade up and selection. Here we go. Yeah.
I love it.
It was the first time in that draft that everyone was unanimously on board with the pick.
Yeah. That's so funny. That was it. It was like relief. And then here, let's do the Breece Hall one. That one's funny. I've showed this one a couple more times, but we talked about this, like we do mock after mock after mock, and we deconstruct this shit to the microscopic degree.
Shocking.
But
that was a shocker. Yeah.
But the truth is, even though we talked about it and we said, could really be the smart move because like he's the best running back making it there. It's not just like, hey, I'm taking a running back at early in the second round. It's like just because of the way it looks in today's NFL, you're going to get a guy that 10 years ago would have been a top 5 pick, or top 10, or at least that idea. So we were like, there was a lot of us like could have been could have been a good move, but very few of us thought it was real. You know what I mean? That they would really do it. And especially after they traded up, I was like, oh, they're not trading up for a running back in this.
Nope. Nakobe Dean. I swore it was Nakobe Dean. I swore but not it was.
Yeah, me too. Where the hell is it? Hold on. I think I closed it by mistake here. Hold on. No, that's Jermaine John. All right, yeah, okay. Let me find the Breece Hall one here. Yeah, this one we had Boy Green on at the same moment as well, so we got to hear his reaction as well. This one's mixed. This one's a little mixed, man. I think all of us are surprised though, but some are downright unhappy. Let me get that off the screen. Okay, and here it is. This is the trade up and selection of Breece Hall. Here it is.
The 36th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Breece Hall, running back.
Yep, pure shock.
Same thing for me.
Yep.
So you see, Ryan and Boy Green were unhappy. You know what I mean? They didn't like that one. Me, I liked it, but I was blown away. And Matt he was stone-faced.
Yeah, shock. Pure shock.
Yeah. Shock. So, yeah, Jordan Victor said he wants Karlaftis. I know. Truth is, I would have taken Karlaftis, even with that trade, everything being the same. Karlaftis is the guy I would have chosen. But I do understand that Jermaine Johnson is potentially a better fit for what Salah's trying to accomplish. I get it. And that being said, you got to factor that stuff in. I didn't dislike Jermaine Johnson. I was Aiden Hutchinson all day, every day, followed by Thibodeau, and then Karlaftis, then Jermaine Johnson. I didn't even have Trayvon Walker. I mean, Trayvon Walker was 5th. I even liked some of the other guys, the Maffeys. I was like, I liked them as much as Walker. I couldn't believe that the Jaguars bit and did that. They fell for it
too.
There's a Hall of Fame graphic on in the background right now. Rich Eisen's talking. It might be time.
Oh, it might be time. All right, all 270 in here. It's time for all of you to hurry up, get a $5 super chat in. This is it.
I love that it's Rich Eisen. I love that it's Rich Eisen. That's great.
Rich Eisen, Jets fan.
Kristen Brown.
That's not Rich Eisen.
Well, yeah, Eisen was on. Now it's Tim Brown, and
okay.
now it's Joe Thomas. So Thomas is it. Oh, this is how they're doing.
By the way, congratulations to Geno Smith, and I mean it.
In what way? What did he win?
Comeback player of the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for him. Yeah.
That's going to
Good
be
for Geno,
Brees
dude.
Hall next year.
Good
That's
for
Brees
Geno.
Hall next year.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes.
What happened?
Revis.
Revis. Oh,
Revis!
It's Revis. He's in.
Hall of Famer. Oh my God.
Yes.
Come on, Jets fans. Are you kidding me?
Kim,
Are you
Ohio,
kidding me?
you are now
That's
Revis
three.
Island.
That's 3, baby. That's 3.
That's 3
Jerry
tonight.
Jones. Here we go.
Look at Jerry Jones.
DeMarcus Ware.
Marcus Ware, another one. Dude,
Second.
Revis, first ballot Hall of Famer, everybody. Come on.
Right, baby.
Come on, right? Holy shit, guys. Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Garrett Wilson, Rookie of the Year. Darrell Revis, first
Munoz.
ballot Hall of Famer.
Guys, Munoz. This has to be Klecko.
No, he's not going to.
Oh,
but
okay.
he is somebody who said Joe Klecko was one of the best people he
It
ever
would have
played
made
against.
sense, though. Okay.
Yeah. He said that, man.
It would have made all the sense in the world for Munoz to introduce Klecko.
Super Chats like
E Boogie checking in. Let's go, Jets, E Boogie.
Wait, who is that?
Wait, I gotta see. I can't.
Who is
hear.
that that went in?
Namath, here he is.
There's Namath. Yes!
Yes!
Holy shit!
Yes! Yes!
Four.
There he is.
4.
Guys, it happened. It
My
happened.
God.
The best in the history of the NFL. Joe Namath got to announce him. Dude, I'm so psyched. I can't even take it.
It's a grand slam, baby, for the
Dude,
was there.
Dude, come on, Jets fans. Holy shit.
Oh
Jason
my
Edwards
God.
loving the Revis. Dude, Joe Klecko made it. I can't even believe it. Dude, we own the Hall of Fame this year. Jets fans,
Oh my
let's plan our
God.
trip. We're
Hall
going
of
to work it
Fame
out.
game.
Ryan, I'm going to send you the link right now. I almost sent it before. I just didn't want to bother you. Here it is. Here it's coming right now, Ryan. Here it is. You come on here. All right, guys. Ryan, come on. Let us know how you feel. Klecko Revis. Holy cow, man.
Ronnie Barber made it?
I know Vervain says still feels like yesterday that we traded up for
Ronnie
Revis.
made it. Wow.
Dude, Ryan, get on here, buddy. I'm going to send it to O'Leary, too.
Oh my God, this is amazing! What a night! What a night! I'm
4
telling you, this is a champion.
for 4. That's
I
all I
can't-
got to say. 4 for 4.
This is unbelievable. This is great. I mean, we've been talking about it like for a while now, but like to see it actually officially come to fruition. It's a New York Jets type of night, boys. A New York Jets type of night.
We've been waiting for this Klecko for so long. This has been such a big deal, man. Even when GreenBean was at the Hall of Fame, he asked them. He said, "What about Klecko?"
Yeah, it's funny.
Like,
Really?
what's the deal? Oh my God,
Dude, I can't even believe it. I don't even know how to feel.
That speech is going to be one of a kind. Because you know how much this means to him and how much it's going to mean to all his teammates, all his coaches, because his Hall of Fame induction is going to be their Hall of Fame induction. Because we don't get a whole lot of Jets who do that. This is going to be for the whole sack exchange, all those players from the mid 70s to the late 80s. It is going to mean so much for that whole era of Jets football. Ryan!
There he is.
go, boys.
So Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. Dude, what do you think? Dude, Revis, Klecko, Sauce,
man.
Wilson, how you feeling?
I can barely hide my sorry, I have you playing on my phone and I have I'm trying to talk to you. I am trying. If I stand up right now, you're going to hear a on my desk. That's how fired up I am.
Hell yeah. Dude, I got to be honest, Ryan. As much as I was confident for all of this, I was nervous the whole time. I was just waiting for the rug to get pulled out. This is a New York Jets night, dude. We owned this damn thing. This was us, buddy.
Dude, incredible. Absolutely awesome to watch. The Jets fandom is like, it's exciting, right? Like you have two young guys that are like primed to be on this similar path at this point, and you have two guys that did it. And so you have like the past and the present, and I'm just all sorts of excited.
Dude, I can't believe fucking Joe Klecko made it in, guys.
This is crazy.
He made it. Dude, we have been screaming about this since the 90s.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That happened
You
tonight.
couldn't write a better script than this. You really
Oh, it's
couldn't
the
write a
best.
better storyline than this.
Right. Ryan just nailed it, dude. It's like it shows the future. Like we swept the rookie of the year thing, and then it shows, hey, and don't forget, you might not have seen the Jets win for a minute, but they had some of the best players of all time. Don't forget that. So yeah, this is big, dude. We got to plan our Hall of Fame thing. I'm going to reach out to my contact over there tomorrow. I'm doing it. And say, hey, I got to get in there.
Now, all we need is the Aaron Rodgers trade agreed to in the next hour and 17 minutes, and we've got 5.
Imagine he does it before he goes into the dark room.
Before he goes into the dark room. Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to thank E-Boogie right on. I want to thank Jason Edwards for your super chats. There's another one from Jason. Thank you, buddy. He says, A-Rod, why wouldn't you? Why, dude? We are setting the stage saying it's time. Come over here. This is going to be the team that takes over New York. That is finally. We're breaking curses. Klecko getting in. Dude, this is so huge. We've never had an offensive rookie of the year. This is so big. We are showing the world now is the time. Come over here. Take less money. You don't need, just come over here. You want to be a part of this. It's something special. Man, dude, I can't believe how excited I am, dude. I can't even contain myself, Ryan. This is fucking crazy, man.
I wish I could have the same type of enthusiasm. I didn't get to watch him live when it happened, so I can only imagine how you must feel being able to watch him. He's your favorite, player all time.
Yeah, he's in my top 3. So he's like it's Gastineau, Klecko, Freeman.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's there. It's very close. But yeah, I mean, but you saw Revis. I mean, that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucking
well, what's
good.
crazy is like Revis is the last Jet that's getting in until the guys that are on our roster now. Like that's
right now.
That's what we're looking at. It's like
He's so right.
we got to go through like 10 years of their career plus an additional 5 before we have another guy in the Hall of Fame.
What about Mangold? What about Mangold?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Oh,
Mangold,
Mangold might get it. You're
Mangold
right.
might.
Yeah, you're right.
Mangold
I
may
forgot
get
about Mangold.
And don't forget, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, his first year of eligibility did get votes. So now he's not a first ballot, but in few years, he might make it. He might.
I give Mangold a better chance than I do Brick.
I think Mangold's a better shot, though. So those are kind of it. Unless you think, I mean, look, maybe Jeremy Curley, right? Maybe Jeremy Curley.
Great first name.
Maybe.
Bilal Powell.
Tim Tebow? Come on.
Tebow.
What about our old pro Justin Hardy?
Right. But that's a good point. Like more than likely, Mangold's about it. I mean, DeBrickashaw's an outside chance, but I mean, more than likely, Nick Mangold is the only real candidate. We're gonna have a nice lapse, bro. It's a nice gap. So enjoy this, everybody. This is about as big as it gets. I mean, you could not have asked for more at an award ceremony. I mean, the whole NFL is watching this. Like, holy shit, man. The New York Jets kind of owned this thing. We're showing them this is the team that knows how to offseason, baby. You don't play with us. This is how we do it. I'm excited. New York Jets super fan. What a night, Jets fam. Quarterback, your boy Klecko made it. I love that. I love that Namath announced him. I love it, dude. How great was that? Joe Namath just announced Joe Klecko getting in the hall right after Darrell. Who announced Revis? Who was that? Was that Rich Eisen?
That was Ty Law.
Ty Law announced Revis?
They had a freaking Patriot. I know Law played like 1 year with the Jets. But
2. He was with us twice.
Oh, that's right.
Dude,
but if he's a
He had
Patriot,
10 interceptions the 1 year.
Yeah,
I was just going to say
Patriot.
that. Ryan, do you realize he had 10 interceptions under Herm Edwards for us? 10.
I'm sorry. He's a Patriot. I can't.
He is. Yeah.
He's a Patriot.
I can't say
That would have been like Sean Ellis, like inducting a Patriot, because we all know he's a Jet, but he had 1 year in New England. It just
Yeah. Fair enough. But we have a lot of those guys. We have a lot of
talking
those.
one of the
I
best
didn't even
corners of all
realize it was
time,
Ty Law.
Giving it to him. That's
but
I
they
guess
want Hall of
it's weird, it's a
Famers
Patriot.
inducting Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I can understand why they would have Law do it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they should have had like Mawai or something. He played with them.
Mawai would be fine. Mahomes is MVP, it looks like. Yep. Mahomes wins the MVP again.
Now, are they going to announce Rookie of the Year, or is that just not happening? Is that something?
Yeah, that's happening. That should have happened already.
I think offensive and defensive. I don't think there is just a Rookie of the Year.
I don't think so either.
I was having that conversation with Tyson like a few.
If MVP is not the last award of the night, what is it?
Wait.
That's a good point.
Wait. Ryan, what'd you say? You were talking to Tyson and what?
I was just doing a video with Tyson on like just pre-recorded, and we were talking about it, and I was like, I didn't see Rookie of the Year pop up. I saw offensive and defensive, but I was surprised. I was like, did Hutchinson win it? And I just missed it. I was like, I don't know.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe it's a different thing. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it mentioned numerous times. Like Sauce is a candidate for Rookie of the Year too. Like overall, maybe it's just a different thing.
It might be like a lazy writing, like when you forget the G at the end of ing, and it's just like, it's not actually a Rookie of the Year. It's a defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. broke this back up.
Yeah, look at this.
Of course.
So Dom C.
Of course,
friendly reminder, Ryan wanted to trade our defensive Rookie of the Year for first-round picks and put Baltimore.
No. Dom C. Give me the floor. That's not how this went down. That is not how that went down. I was asked a hypothetical question. If we missed out on all the other quarterbacks, would you trade Sauce and a first for Lamar? But it's never going to happen. Lamar's going to Atlanta. I think Kyler might end up in Baltimore.
Whoa.
He's got a $36 million bonus due 10 days into the new year. If they're going to tank next year anyway, the Cardinals, taking that dead cap hit next year might be the move.
I don't know.
You just sell low. That's the only thing.
Yeah. I know. You kind of got caught. You know what? You got caught in the maw. You know what I mean? You got caught in there.
No.
With that comment too. Before the one that Dom's talking about, you kind of got.
Oh, dude. Well, yeah. He got me fired up, and then the chat just exploded. Oh, screw Ryan. I wanted Sauce. I was the only person pounding the table.
I was just playing it. Did you see? I was playing our reaction. Did you?
Oh yes.
I was showing it. I showed all our reactions to like Brees and Garrett, and you were ecstatic with Brees Hall. With Sauce. Yeah.
Take the names out of it. Would you trade the top corner in the league for a 26-year-old MVP quarterback? The answer is yes. I'm sorry. I love Sauce. I think he can be like, I wouldn't, fuck me. I don't know.
I understand.
I got nothing.
Right.
I'm being quiet.
So bad. I don't want to get, I was just about to say, I think he's going to have an Aaron Donald for a corner career. I think he's going to beat Revis's records. I think he's Cromartie with Revis's skills.
Yeah, he's a hybrid.
Dude,
100%. 100% hybrid.
Yeah, he's only getting started, man. It was just a rookie. His ceiling has not even been close to realized.
Dude, he's so good. So good.
We got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
That should be Sauce.
Yep,
that's what I think. Just give it to a Jet. Let's go.
Just give it to Jet. Yeah.
I was thinking Nathan Shepard, but
Quinnen.
Yeah, who do we have? Who did anything good this year?
So our nominee would be Solomon Thomas, right?
I think Solomon Thomas is our nominee. Yep, correct.
That's right.
That's
right.
Who probably won't even be here in about 2 months.
Yeah. Raw Power checking in. He says he's going to go kiss his signed Klecko football. You know what's funny? I saw that comment. My first thought was, why don't I have a signed Klecko football? That was my first thought. That's bullshit.
Why can't I kiss it?
Yeah, I have a signed Rex football.
You got to go to Canton, GreenBean. You're going to fix that right in Canton.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. You're right. I'm telling you, I'm reaching out to her tomorrow. I hope she still works there. I hope she's still, you know how that shit goes. Like I have one contact. But yeah, I mean, they were so gracious, but we should set up something. We should really work on this one.
Oh my God,
we should get in there.
I want to know something really frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Ireland. We booked we booked everything before I realized this was going to be a thing.
You didn't think about the Hall of Fame induction ceremony when you planned your trip with your wife to Ireland?
No.
What is this?
What sucks is
Ryan,
it's not even just me and my wife.
Like you're going to have to reschedule.
Yeah. I would reschedule if it was just Becca and me.
Why? Who else is it?
It's 3 other couples that are all taking off from work and bought their tickets already. And I'm just like, ugh. So I'll bring my laptop with me, but man, that sucks. I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, we know we'll do it on location with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll do from the Blarney Stone. Go to the Blarney Stone.
I'm
kissing
little
it for all of
FaceTime
us, boys.
action.
Right. So we're kind of Ryan will go over to Ireland and kiss the Blarney Stone for all of us. We're crushing curses. We're crushing curses.
Give us
man.
an Irish blessing on the Jets, will you now?
Gentlemen, I have to run. I'm sorry
What's
to say
that?
I have to. Unfortunately, I have to run. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap
All
this
right,
up in
Chaos.
just a second.
Jeremy,
Jeremy,
you want to do the trivia?
I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. Yeah, we'll let Jeremy go. But yeah. So everybody, Jets Chaos, you know and love him. Go over there and let's support his channel. Give him some subscribers and some likes on his videos. He does a great job, man. This show wouldn't be the same without him. And thank you, Jeremy. Have a good night, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Take care, everyone.
My
Thanks for the chat.
chaos.
See you, brother.
There he goes. So Ryan, you want to stick around for trivia?
Sure. Why not? I got nothing
All right,
going on.
let's go ahead. I'm sure Y2K has some sort of Hall of Fame or some side of trivia wrapped into tonight. So, guys, the rules are Y2K asks us a question. We have 4 minutes. Wait, what's that? What do you got
Look
there?
what I got in my
What is that?
stocking. It is
Chocolate?
Hold on. Let me figure out.
I thought it was chocolate. All right, look at that. So
I
the
thought it
rules
was
are
too. I was like,
No. This is all part of the. Hold on.
okay. All right.
This is the. Hold on. Pause. It is the 2013 Jets questions. So 10 years old. Got that in my stocking this year.
Oh, I love it. That's good.
2013.
Yeah, we should borrow
Trivia
some of those.
questions.
Yeah. Well,
By
hey,
the way,
you know,
Brandon
give Wat-
Marshall's eligible next year for the
give
Hall of Fame.
Y2K. Good night, Phil Adams. Good. It's 4 a.m.
He
in the
was a
UK.
Jet.
He hung out until 4 a.m. with us, dude. Good man. All right. So the rules are
Mhm.
Y2K is going to ask a question. We have 4 minutes to answer. We beg that you do not do the easy thing and just Google it. No search engines, no Encyclopedia Britannica, no calling a friend. We try to do it with our own noggins and see if we can get it right in the 4 minutes or less. With that said, Y2K, you are up.
Thank you very much. This is actually, by the way, the first time I've ever been on with Ryan at the same time. This took a long time to have
I
happen.
was gonna say I've been hopping in like the chats
Finally.
and everything, but I've never popped in with you.
There you go. Nice.
All right, cool. So we're gonna talk. This will be a little Super Bowl related question. So in their history, the Jets have drafted 70 players in the first round of the draft. If you can believe it, 11 of them have won a Super Bowl, whether with the Jets or with another team. Now I'm going to give you one of them. Lee White, running back, drafted in 1968, won the Super Bowl with the Jets. That's I'm giving you that one. I'm feeling generous. So your job is to name the other 10 first round draft picks of the Jets who won a Super Bowl, whether with the Jets or with another team. Your time starts now.
Are we
Revis?
talking it or are we not saying it?
Yeah,
out
yeah,
loud?
we can guess. Go ahead.
Say it
Take
out
a
loud.
guess,
I'll
Ryan.
be checking the chat also for all of
So
you.
we've got
Revis.
Namath, right?
Revis?
So Revis right there,
Revis.
Curly Norman, right? Jordan Victor.
Farrier?
They got Revis. What'd you say, Ryan?
Was Farrier on there?
That was going to be my guess. James
Yeah.
Farrier, Steelers.
Um,
Peyton Manning should have been a Jets draft pick.
We all know that.
Keyshawn? How about Keyshawn?
Keyshawn,
Keyshawn
yeah,
correct.
Keyshawn. Cowboys,
Keyshawn's-
right?
That's a good one.
Jonathan
he won with
Vilma.
the Bucks.
Vilma's correct.
Bucks. My bad. Yeah, with the Bucks. The Bucks.
Was Demario Davis there yet? Is Demario Davis one of them?
Demario Davis
No.
was second or third round pick.
No,
Yeah,
he
but
wasn't
on
first
the
round pick.
Saints yet when they won. Okay.
He wasn't
Yeah.
first round pick. Yeah.
Oh, he's first
Um,
round pick. Right. Sorry. Right. Darren Lee.
That's correct.
That's
Yeah.
Kansas
correct.
City.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it.
That very
You got
good.
the five
Brian
most
Jet.
recent ones. Yeah, you got the 5 most recent.
Finger Lakes.
Wait.
John Riggins.
John Riggins is correct.
That is a good one.
That's
All
6.
Sneakers. Well, he wasn't a first round pick of ours.
No, he wasn't our draft.
Yeah,
pick,
he
right?
wasn't. Yeah.
Right. Antonio was
No,
drafted
we
by
traded
Pittsburgh.
for him. Yeah.
Wait. It's who we have picked.
Oh,
Who we drafted.
Sean Ellis.
No,
Another
it's-
one then. Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis? No.
No, he
Oh,
didn't win
they
with
lost.
Patriots.
That's right.
Oh, they lost that one.
Yeah, they lost
Thank
that
God.
one. Yeah, that was good. We got James
I've seen
Farrier.
Did John Abraham get one? No.
No, I've
No,
seen
he
two
never
people
got one.
say Burgess Owens. Burgess Owens is correct. He won with the Raiders. Very good guess.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, so
okay.
watch. Okay, how many do we have? Good guess, Kaz.
You
How
have
many
That's
do we have?
7 so
You
far.
have 7, and
That's
remember
7.
I said they could have won the Super Bowl with the Jets or with another team.
For the team.
All right, so Joe Namath.
Correct? That's 8.
Wait, did we
Don
not?
Maynard.
I said Joe Namath first.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was the
there you
first
go.
one Ryan said.
Well, there was 9 people talking at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't hear me.
Maynard?
Don Maynard was a
Maynard?
Giants draft pick.
Interesting.
He was never drafted by the Jets, so that's incorrect. Now it gets difficult.
Can you give us the
Okay.
decade?
So we have 2 more. Yeah, help us with decades, right?
One of
Hints.
them did win the Super Bowl with the Jets, and the other one is not a very well thought of Jets draft pick, but he did win a Super Bowl.
All right, Boozer. Oh, Winston Hill.
No, Winston Hill, believe it or not, he was not drafted by the Jets. Remember, we said he was cut by the Colts last week.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Baltimore
did.
cut him. He was never a Jets pick.
My head is a sieve.
Crazy, right?
Vilma?
I remember all the Jet shit from the 80s, but last week, no. We had nothing. I don't even know. I don't remember doing this
This
show.
is
with
gonna
you guys.
shock. Yeah. There's one answer here that's going to amaze you if you didn't know this before. But yeah, the Jet you should know.
I don't.
So not Sanchez, John. He didn't win.
You got
Not
1 minute, guys. 1 minute.
All right.
Did he?
Not even-
Was Sanchez?
Eagles?
Sanchez
No.
wasn't with the Eagles at that
No.
point, right?
Nope. He ended up
Wait,
being their
let me see.
starter. Had a really
Let me
good
see.
first 2 games, and Eagles fans were making fun of me. And then he completely turned into Mark Sanchez again. Remember?
Well, I wasn't sure if like it was one of those situations where you like have the guy on the roster for a little bit and then he wins a Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
isn't really on the
Oh.
roster. Like one of
Right.
those kind of things.
I see George
All right, so
Sauer.
yeah, George.
Indy
How about
Jets got it. Indy Jets got it. Matt
Snell?
Snell.
That's the one I said. Didn't I say that? I said Matt
Did
Snell.
you
didn't
say
hear
Matt
it.
Snell?
I didn't
Okay,
catch
I
it.
didn't Okay, one get. All right, so there's
There you
one
go,
more
Indy.
player.
Good guess, buddy.
Good
I'll
stuff.
give it to you.
One more player. You've got. I'll pause it. You got 30 seconds.
All right. So.
Oh wait, we're trying to get the one with the Super Bowl?
There's one more player. One more first
Who was
round
the
pick. who won-
defensive
Frank
back?
Reich. He didn't win one though. He was on 4 losing
No, he
teams.
didn't win one.
Quentin
Defensive
Copel,
back that went to the Saints. What's his name?
defensive back that went to the Saints. Shit.
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. It's not going to be him. He went to the
yeah, Glenn.
Texans.
He went to Houston.
Yeah, he went to the
not Aaron
Texans
Glenn.
in the expansion
That was a
draft.
good guess, though.
Who went to the Saints?
Sheldon
Green.
Richardson.
Nope, not
No.
Sheldon. Time's
No,
up.
Sheldon
Dang
hasn't
it.
won.
Okay. The correct answer is
Dino.
one of the biggest first round draft pick busts the Jets have ever had. Blair Thomas. He won a Super Bowl with the
Dallas.
Dallas Cowboys.
Damn it.
That's
He was
right.
Emmett
Damn
Smith's
it.
backup for 1 year.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh, amazing.
That's
Blair
right.
Thomas has a Super Bowl ring.
I know. Amazing.
That's
It's amazing.
disgusting. That's just disgusting.
Think about that. He was the number 2 pick. Emmett Smith got drafted way later in the round, and then he ended up being Emmett Smith's backup for 2 years.
That's right.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well, look, good question. And look, good, well met, everybody. Ryan, Gunny, and everybody in the chat. That was a fantastic job. It was just, I think there was just too much. We needed 10 answers. We got 9 of them. I think,
You got 9 of them.
You know what I mean?
And I gave you Lee White. Let's be honest.
Yeah. No, that was a really good question.
Yeah, that was
That was
excellent.
really good.
So more fun. All right, man. Well, that's going to be our show. A nice 3-hour Thursday thick of it. I want to remind everybody, the Jets swept this bitch tonight. We saw
Like a motherfucker.
Sauce Gardner win Defensive Rookie of the Year. We saw Garrett Wilson win Offensive Rookie of the Year. We saw Darrelle Revis become a first ballot Hall of Famer. And we saw the mighty Joe Klecko finally get his due and be the 2023 senior inductee to the Hall of Fame. There's no better way that this could have ended. There's nothing more that we could have gotten out of this one. Congratulations to all of you Jets fans. I hope you're happy. And like Ryan said, just realize this is more than likely not going to happen for a fucking long time. So suck it up. Use
Embrace
your
it.
straw. You know when you suck the bottom of the straw and you do it. You got to suck
Gotta
it
shake
all
the
in.
bottom of the cup.
Exactly. Don't worry about annoying people. Suck up the bottom of the cup. With that all said, Gunny, real quick, let everybody know what you got coming up, bud.
Yeah, new situation report. I am definitely doing a video now on the success we had in terms of this particular draft class. I've been kind of tempted back and forth to talk about the people wanting to have Joe Douglas and Coach Salah on a hot seat. I think after tonight's episode, I'm definitely working on that video and I'm going to be posting that.
There you go. All right, you got to. Y2K, what's the big thing you got coming, friend?
2 things Jets related. I got a Jimmy G video that I'm going to be making. I'm going to talk about his injury history, how his play has progressed over the last couple of years as a starting quarterback. And I'm also going to do 2 videos on free agency. I'm going to break down 10 marquee free agents. will cost a little bit of money, and 10 bargain free agents that I think the Jets could target. So
Excellent.
20 free agent targets that I'm going to be talking about over the next few days.
And if we sign all of them, we will not get any comp picks yet again. All right,
Exactly.
There you go. Ryan, anything big you got coming up? You want to let everybody know what's cooking? Where can they find you, buddy?
Yeah, you Jets Talk 24/7. I'm around. I was talking to Tyson and I was thinking about I did my like Derek Carr off season with everything. I did my Aaron Rodgers off season. There's a lot of panic around Jet fans. I think I might do like a Tannehill off season and see if there's any positive spin that I could put on like a worst case scenario. I mean, there's a situation where like maybe Tannehill goes to a division rival in the Colts, Jimmy G goes to the Titans, and then the Jets are really holding the bag at the end of this.
Yeah, we're walking around with Jameis Winston.
I look forward to the Jacoby Brissett off season as well.
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew.
There it is, Gunny.
But man, if we had to start him, would that be a swift kick?
Yeah, I'm
Baker
telling you, it
Mayfield.
would. That'd be a. I know. It's like you look on a night when we're talking best case scenarios. I refuse to entertain worst case scenario. We're not going to end it that way. We're going to get our guy Rodgers. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Everybody know that stuff.
AR-12
and light it up. Right.
Take Daniel Jones from the Giants. Something.
With that all said, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks to all the new beanbaggers and stream beaners. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit like on your way out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it is greatly appreciated. With that all said, I wish you all adieu. Have a great rest of the night. See ya.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.